isn't up. The steal and the basket makes it a 12-point game.
Well, Charlie Burgess, his junior college and now Texas Tech teammate, calls him a pest, and you can see why.
Fighting through Siddle. The foul stops the clock. 31.8 seconds left. Our 2K Sports player of the game is Martin Zeno. Big second half. 11 of the 15 points here in the second stanza, and added some rebounds, assists, and 3 steals for good measure.
You know, and Jarius Jackson is going to get a lot of player of the game awards this season. He had a quiet 22, but I thought Zeno's effort in the second half really opened things up for Texas Tech.
Ricky McPhee, a career-high 22 for Gardner-Webb. Look out, Chapel Hill. He's headed your way again.
I'll tell you what. Roy Williams has got a few more weapons this year than he did early last season, because this may be one of the deepest Carolina teams of all time. Their second team would make the NCAA tournament. There's no doubt in my mind.
Zeno grabbed by Gash to stop the clock with 27 seconds remaining.
Tell you what, Izmir Rizvic could have been player of the game just as easily, and I think that talks about the type of balance that Bob Knight has this year.
Each team has 4 scores in double figures tonight. Jackson and McPhee's 22 right now are game highs. And Fran, you'll have the call with our good friend Ron, who was here a little bit ago. UALR Texas Tech 10 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2, 9 o'clock Central Time here.
Saw a very good effort from Arkansas Little Rock, Steve Shields' club.
McPhee fade away. Sims, nice, off the glass. Gardner-Webb wanting a timeout.
Well, couldn't get it.
Now they'll have to foul to stop the clock and do so with 11.8 remaining.
It's interesting, Mark. There'll be some things Coach Knight will pick apart in terms of the film, but this wasn't as much about Texas Tech playing poorly in my mind as how well Gardner-Webb played and how much poise they played with, especially after getting down 13-0 to start the game.
And missing their first 8 field goals. And it was a while before they had more points than turnovers in the first half.
We watched them practice yesterday with the 11 newcomers, and they didn't look like it. They didn't look like a team that had so many new parts.
So the lead now 86-74. Gardner-Webb. Siddle short with the 3. Jackson has it. He'll cradle it, and that'll do it. Win number 871 now for Bob Knight as he creeps closer to Rupp and Smith for the all-time lead in Division I coaching wins. Bob Knight and Rick Scruggs exchanged words, and I definitely think he was impressed by what he faced tonight.
I think you're right. They kept their composure. This is a good Atlantic Sun club.
Well, our final score tonight, Texas Tech 86 and Gardner-Webb 74. Up next on ESPNU, it's ESPN College Football Primetime, Alabama versus LSU. I'm Mark Neely for Fran Fraschilla and our entire crew. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Tech wins it to go to 2-0. It's so long from West Texas.
Saturday night in Death Valley. The atmosphere has been described many ways since they started playing under the lights all the way back in 1931. But the best word is magic. There is nothing like it anywhere. Bear Bryant called it the worst place on earth for a visiting team. He said the noise is so bad it's like being inside a drum. Tonight in Baton Rouge, it's the Crimson Tide of Alabama against the 12th-ranked LSU Tigers. $92,000 plus on hand at Tiger Stadium to see if LSU can keep its hopes alive in the SEC West. Good evening. evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick along with Todd Blackledge. It's great to have you with us. Holly Rowe will join us shortly. LSU comes into this game at 7-2, but honestly, they're better than that. They have great talent on both sides of the ball, and it starts up front with a quarterback who has become a lightning rod for both the supporters and his critics.
Well, Jamarcus Russell is a rare talent. He's 6'6", 260 pounds with an NFL arm, and sometimes he makes mistakes because he thinks he can make every throw, and he forces some in there. But the bottom line is he's 21-4 as a starter, and his teammates believe that he can get it done no matter what the circumstances. Last week, on the road at Tennessee, a perfect example. Fourth quarter, his team's down 3. He had thrown 3 interceptions. He had to battle back. They went on a 15-play, 80-yard drive. He converted a big 4th and 8 pass. He didn't score on this play, but he shows his will to win and his athleticism. He finished off the drive with 9 seconds left in the game, a 4-yard touchdown pass. The LSU Tigers believe if the ball's in Jamarcus's hands at the end of the game, they always have a chance to win.
Todd, in a place with traditions galore, LSU even uses stuff that other people throw away. The crossbar they started using in the glory days of the 1950s. They call it the win crossbar, and the players touch it before they take the field. 3 of Alabama's losses have come against elite teams in the Southeastern Conference, but they hit rock bottom last week when they lost to Mississippi State. Where do the Crimson Tide go from here?
Well, they've got to get that taste out of their mouth from last week. The best way to do that, come out early and play well against a good football team in LSU. This team is still playing for a lot. They've got a lot of pride. They're playing for respect. They're playing for the accountability of each other, and they're playing for their postseason position because they're already bowl eligible, but how they finish the year against LSU and Auburn will dictate how they spend the postseason.
Saturday night in Baton Rouge, Alabama and LSU. We are really looking forward to it. The kickoff is next.
ESPN's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Chick-fil-A, we didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. And ESPN Game Plan, maximum college football. To order, call your pay-per-view provider or log on to ESPN.com, search Game Plan.
Using only my City Premier Pass credit card, I earn rewards points crazy fast, and I will do it restrained with this restraining device. I start with the points for buying my ticket and Victor's ticket, then earn points for my miles and his. Unbelievable. Using only the City Premier Pass credit card, I rock the house. Big time. Rewarding. Very, very, very rewarding.
Get ready for holiday guests with help from the Home Depot. A decorative sconce is a warm welcome to all visitors.
Wow.
You can transform your dining room with a unique paint project and a beautiful chandelier. Or change an entire room with a stunning new area rug.
Nice.
My mom did it.
Get started now at the Home Depot.
Elbow in.
The best coach I ever had was my dad. Practice, practice, practice. He taught me that the fundamentals, together with hard work, make anything possible. And now it's time to teach others what my dad taught me.
Introducing Steve Nash's MVP Basketball, the only DVD program that makes back-to-back MVP Steve Nash your personal coach. You'll learn Steve's fundamental training secrets to give you a competitive edge on the court.
I don't think there's anybody in the NBA that does it any better than Steve Nash.
What an opportunity to have Steve Nash as your child's personal coach.
This program is about the fundamentals of basketball, and Steve Nash knows the fundamentals of basketball.
Order two-time MVP Steve Nash's MVP Basketball program for the low introductory price of only $29.95. Act now and you'll receive a second DVD, Steve's Team Play and Practice Organization. Perfect for the parent coach, absolutely free. But it's not available in stores, so you must act now.
Welcome back to Baton Rouge, 92,000 plus. It is the 70th meeting in this great series. LSU has won the last 3, and the road team, surprisingly, has done very, very well in this series since 1970s. One streak's already come to an end tonight. LSU had won the toss 9 straight games. They win it tonight. They'll get the ball first, but before that, we check in with Holly Rowe. Holly.
Well, guys, we checked in with Alabama defensive coordinator Joe Hines to see what's his game plan for stopping Jamarcus Russell. He said he called all around the country. Nobody had any kryptonite. He said this guy is Superman. Realistically, Jamarcus Russell is taller than all of the starting defensive linemen put together. And guys, they said it's like tackling a tree trying to bring down Jamarcus Russell. But guys, I can tell you their pregame warm-up was spirited. The defense was saying stuff like, you've got to believe Alabama thinks they're up to the challenge. One quick note about the weather. It is swirling winds here in the stadium, guys. Let's keep an eye on that and how it affects the kicking game.
Boy, Holly, you're right. The temperature dropped about 15 degrees in a half-an-hour ride over here from the hotel to the airport. It's getting worse. The wind out of the north, 14 miles an hour, and certain to be a factor before the night is over here in Louisiana. Trendon Holiday and early Doucette are deep to receive the kick of Jamie Christensen. One of the great things about coming down here is the names. Doesn't get any better than early Doucette, does it?
Yeah, there's some great ones on this team.
Always are. There's Doucette, a junior averaging 17 yards a return on 9 tries this year.
Really come on as receiver, was a high school quarterback, and just gets better and better every game as a wideout.
And caught the game winner a week ago. We are underway in Baton Rouge. Here comes Holiday. The little guy who can fly and is tough as nails takes it out to the 27-yard line.
Talk about LSU's impact players on offense. Most teams have 1 good receiver. Good teams have 2. This team has 3 quality receivers. Dwayne Bowe, Craig Davis, and Early Doucette have combined for 124 catches, almost 2,000 yards, and 16 touchdowns. They create a lot of matchup problems for your defense because they all 3 are very, very talented.
Jamarcus Russell, speaking of talent, can be on his knees at the 50-yard line, throw the football through the goalposts.
He can really throw it. I mean, he throws it as well as anybody I've seen in college football.
Little swing this time and gets it out to Jacob Hester. Hester, the tailback, the junior. Hester will start at tailback for LSU, but as many as 6 different guys could play that spot before the night is over. It's a very unusual setup. They get about 166 yards out of this tailback committee.
Keelan Williams is a guy they may have found last week. He got 17 carries. He's come along a little slower. Wasn't there for part of the summer, but he is an explosive big back.
This is what happened last week. Hester played 1 play. Williams came in and had an impact, and certainly he shows you his power there, dragging tacklers across the 35 to the 37 for a first down. Alabama's defense had to replace 7 starters from last year, some really good ones. The linebackers include a couple of seniors, including the speedy leading tackler, Jawan Simpson.
Jawan Simpson, the only returning starter from that group from a year ago. Took him a while to get used to being the main guy out there, but he has played very well. Had a career-high 11 tackles against Tennessee a couple weeks ago.
Russell now goes under center. Plenty of time. And completes it to Bowe. Guy who is incredibly strong and is now the number 6 all-time receiver in LSU history was open. You give anybody time like that, they'll find a way to get open.
Well, they got a lot of guys in there blocking. You run the ball effectively for a first down. It takes a while for these deep crossing routes to develop. This is a deep crossing route all the way across the field. But you mentioned that protection. That allowed Russell to wait for Bowe to open up on the other side.
Bowe with his 44th catch of the season. Hester back in at tailback. Russell to throw again, this time goes out in the flat to Brandon LaFell. And LaFell will pick up a few. Simeon Castile takes him out of bounds. Castile, 8 forced turnovers, leads the SEC. He has 5 interceptions and 3 recovered fumbles, so he closes to the ball pretty well.
He's one of those guys that just has a nose for the football. So take a look at what LSU has done. Their first offensive possession, very sharp coming out in this opening possession, and you see the accuracy of Jamarcus Russell. Doesn't matter if it's deep throws, short throws. He has excellent touch on the short throws and the gun to make the big throws down the field.
Williams and Hester in there together, and Williams with the carry. Touchdown. Keelan Williams, 38 yards. His second rushing touchdown of his career. Well, no wonder the freshman's getting more playing time. 17 carries, 53 yards, and a score against Tennessee. He has already beaten that here in the first quarter. Colt David for the point after. He's at 36 in a row this year. Make it 37. And LSU quickly breaks on top of Alabama. 7-0.
Tom and Mike here, continuing to get ready for the Michigan-Ohio State game coming up on Saturday. Tommy, in that game, if you're a coach and you've got one QB with 2 minutes left, final drive, are you going to pick Chad Henne or Troy Smith to lead your team?
Well, I'm going to take Troy Smith, not just because I think he can do it mentally from the neck up, but I believe when you get spread out in the 4 and 5 wide set, as you would be when you're trying to win a football game in the 2-minute drill, you have an opportunity to win the game with your arm and with your legs. Chad Henne is not going to be able to provide that type of dual threat element. So Troy Smith, when he's scrambling around, if he sees a lot of man coverage and has to do some things with his legs, he can be dangerous on the perimeter.
Could Troy Smith do it mentally from the neck down?
Probably not. He doesn't have any brains there.
Tough to do. Tom and Mike, thanks. We'll be looking forward to the game this Saturday. Hope you will as well. It's on ABC, 3:30 Eastern Time. Number 1 and number 2, Michigan and Ohio State. It's tough to get much better than this in a regular season game.
No curb appeal. Hate the color. Oh, honey, this is it.
What you got there is an infestation.
A lot of life happens in your car. Conoco, Phillips 66 and 76 quality ProClean gasolines help clean your engine as you drive.
The paint wasn't so bad.
So you can focus on more important things. Conoco, Phillips 66 and 76. Life happens between empty and full.
GoDaddy, the world's #1 domain name. Bang, bang, banana pants with a lazy baby bingo. It's fast, fun, and affordable to get on the internet.
Just buy any other hot internet product and your .com is just $1.99.
With your very own .com. Any other domain name for just $1.99. This train's coming in. 199.coms at GoDaddy.com.
Just go to www.godaddy.com.
ESPN's College Football Primetime is broadcast in high definition and presented by Pioneer Plasma Display. What a start for LSU.
Well, they've now outscored their opponents here at home in the first quarter 101-0. So if you want to play with LSU here at home, you better come out of the gate playing well, because they have blown everybody out at home. They're 6-0 at home coming into tonight. And they have just destroyed people early in the ball game.
Maybe the other team shouldn't show up until the second quarter.
Maybe so.
Arenas and Hall.
Go back to the touchdown, show you a couple blocks. First of all, watch Dwayne Bowe on Juwan Simpson, and then Jacob Hester coming around from his fullback right onto the middle linebacker, Prince Hall. Watch these 2 blocks at the point of attack on both linebackers, and that opens it up for Keelan Williams, and you see the explosiveness that the young freshman has coming through the hole. Spent last year at Hargrave Military Academy, and he may be that feature back that Les Miles has been looking for.
Looked like Prince Hall got in a little too deep and had no angle to make a stop. Freshman linebacker. Darby is the running back, and straight back to throw is Wilson. Throws underneath. after a very short completion, maybe a yard or two.
Well, Alabama's going to need some big plays out of their offense. It's got to come from Ken Darby. He's had a couple of 100-yard games against LSU in his history. DJ Hall has been playing outstanding football, one wide receiver. Keith Brown has missed 3 games. He's back tonight, back from a knee injury. They've got some opportunities to make some big throws down the field against man-to-man coverage if they can protect John Parker Wilson.
John Parker Wilson, 6-4 as the starter. Replaced Brody Croyle. First year as a starter, he's played pretty well. John Parker Wilson back to throw off the fingertips of his best receiver, Keith Brown, and there's a flag down as well.
Offside. Number 94 on the defense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay second down.
Chase Pittman, the defensive end. Let's check with Holly.
Well, guys, Keith Brown has been out of action for 3 weeks. He played 1 series last week, but guys, they are so happy to have him back. He's a second threat against DJ Hall, so he doesn't get double teamed. I talked with Keith before the game. He's wearing that bulky brace on his left knee where he's got sprained knee ligaments. He said, I'm straight. I'm ready to go. We'll see if he is tonight.
He's number 8 all-time in yards, Holly, and Hall is number 4 all-time. So they've got a couple of great receivers out there. And this is Darby, the tailback, turns the corner across the 35 before he's pounded out of bounds. That Alabama offensive line has been hurt by inexperience this year. It's very hard to be consistent with a freshman, 2 sophomores, and 2 juniors as your starting 5.
Yeah, a lot of youth up front, a young quarterback. Andre Smith, the true freshman, was the player of the year in the state of Alabama. First time in the 23-year history of the Alabama Sports Writers Association that a lineman ever won that award, and he has played outstanding as a true freshman at the very important left tackle spot.
Guy's going to be a pretty good anchor for a while, isn't he? Out of the eye, Darby again. They fake the reverse. No, they give it to him on the reverse, and it's Brown.
See, he was looking to throw the whole time, but there was nobody open down the field. It looked like Keith Brown was looking to throw. That's why he was slowing up, looking for Nikita Stover down the field, who was covered. Watch Keith Brown kind of gear this down because he's thinking pass all the way. Right now he's thinking, he's looking for a receiver. It's not there. And a nice job by Jackson forcing him back inside. LSU was not fooled on the reverse. Stover is, well, actually he was open, but not able to get him the football.
Well, Tyson Jackson took care of that. His pressure messed up the timing of it. And this is a great defense. Number 1 in the country total defense. Number 3 in the country in scoring defense. There is nothing they can't take on. They face great running teams, great throwing teams. Flag is down as Shevis Jackson looked like he made a tremendous defensive play there, but the official thinks otherwise.
The bottom line with this defense and watching them on tape is they just don't give you anything easy. They make you earn everything, and they make you drive the football. They don't give up big, easy plays, and they make everything you get tough.
Pass interference. Number 21 on the defense. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
I am so tired of overpaying for health insurance.
Wow, I pay a lot less, and that covers me and my family.
If you're self-employed or an individual looking for affordable health insurance for yourself and your family, do what I did. Call the Mega Life and Health Insurance Company for a free quote.
I got individual attention from a licensed Mega agent who helped me tailor a plan to match my needs and was way more than affordable.
I got great coverage at a great rate, and I could choose my own doctor on my own or from the network.
Now get this. You're covered 24/7 whether you're on the job, at home, or anywhere in the world. So, do what I did.
Call the Mega Life and Health Insurance Company for your free quote. You have absolutely no obligation except the one to yourself, your family, and your business.
Call 800-826-8007 for your mega affordable health insurance quote. Call 800-826-8007.
If it's played on a campus, it's on ESPNU.
Over the shoulder goal! Wow!
The best college sports action all year long.
Wisconsin wins! Oregon State brings a national championship.
Here's what's playing tomorrow night. Hit the hardwood for basketball action. First at 7, Sacred Heart takes on North Carolina. At 11, Stanford meets San Jose State. ESPNU, always in season.
Like any good parent, I want the best for my baby. That's why, to help prepare for his future, I turn to Gerber. With the Gerber Life Grow Up Plan, you can give your baby a $10,000 whole life insurance plan for just pennies a day. And when your child turns 21, that coverage will automatically double to $20,000, and the cost stays the same. By age 28, your child will have the right to purchase up to $100,000 worth of insurance.
Call 1-800-927-0771 today.
In this world of boundaries and limits, corporate America would have you think of what you can't do. Entrepreneurs don't have time for that. They make it happen. If you're self-employed or an individual and you need affordable health insurance, get Midwest on your side right now. Call them for a free quote on affordable health insurance. 800-745-4956, 800-745-4956. Midwest, we are able.
That is a good football.
Yes, they are. And they're getting better.
Yes, they are.
Each week.
And I think actually McFadden's getting bigger.
Yeah. You know what, this...
McClain,
I think he was down.
I thought he was too.
I think he was down before the ball came out.
Ron McClain is a really good fullback, especially as a blocker and a pass receiver. And an LSU player hurt. That looks like Beckwith.
I was about to say before that ball squirted out, this is really a good start for the Alabama offense. They're giving pass protection for John Parker Wilson. They're opening some holes for Kenneth Darby, and in this case, LaRon McClain. It's so important for Mike Shula's team to get off to a good start. Their first defensive possession, not a good start, but this offensive possession, pretty good.
Well, they've been patient with Mike Shula. I hope they continue to be, because he took over a mess at Alabama. He has cleaned it up, finally going to get to the point where he can get a full load of scholarships and get rid of some of the youth that he has been saddled with. Then you can make a proper evaluation of what he's done. But I think he's done a really nice job under the circumstances.
Well, I just think the Alabama program right now, the biggest thing they need is some stability. And hopefully they can get that with Mike Shula and his staff. They are finally at a full 85 scholarship, but of their 105-man roster, 56 of those kids are freshmen or redshirt freshmen, so they're still very young. This team was 10-2 last year. They won a bowl game, the Cotton Bowl, and it's a little tougher this year, but I think he's the right guy there.
When we come back, we'll tell you what advice Don Shula had for his son, Mike, especially after last week's loss to Mississippi State.
ESPN College Game Day, Saturdays at 10 a.m.
The enemies of Krypton's last son have united to conquer mankind. If you had the power to defend the people that need you most, could you save Metropolis? Superman Returns, the video game, available November 22nd, rated T for teen, and own the movie on DVD November 28th.
Buffalo Wild Wings. You have to be here.
From the fields of glory where Saturday afternoon legends are born, to the pageantry and passion, it's time for college football. Now you can bring that passion and pride home with Fathead. So put away that foam finger and slap up a Fathead. With schools from all the big-time college football powerhouses, Fathead wall graphics are classic collectibles made for only real fans. It's easy to put up. Just peel and place in any home or office. Fathead can take a hit. Printed on strong, durable vinyl, Fathead is the only wall graphic that actually lets you move it over and over again all season long.
Looks like this little fella's ready.
So big and real, you can't find them in a store. There's only one place to get them, fathead.com. officially licensed by the Collegiate Licensing Company, NASCAR, the NBA, the NFL, and Players Inc. Fathead.com's where you can also find all your favorite players and teams. Call or go online at fathead.com today. Check out our special season pricing and be the ultimate fan of your team. Fathead. Go big. Real big.
This season, there's only one place to be on game day.
It don't get any better than this.
Saturday mornings, Chris, Lee, and Kirk take you to the biggest games in the country.
Go Trojans!
From the Pac-10 to the Big East and every place in between.
No more cupcakes. Let's play some football.
Exclusives with the top players and coaches. Behind the scenes with the best programs. Tackling the big stories in college football.
This is his team, his time.
ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10 a.m.
ESPN's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by Mercury and your local Lincoln Mercury dealers. And Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side.
It looks nicer than it is right now. It's around 45 degrees with a nice stiff wind. But it's pretty.
That lake, I ran around that lake yesterday. It's a whole lot bigger than I thought it was.
Alabama football, 1st and 10. Their opening possession of the ball game after LSU scored on its first possession. And the number 3 all-time rusher in Alabama history, Kenneth Darby, gets the carry. Cotrera, the backup linebacker, makes the tackle. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, Mike Shula told us that this has been one of the toughest weeks he's had since he's been at Alabama, the criticism he received after that Mississippi State loss. So I actually called his dad, Don Shula, and said, what advice have you given your son as a coach and as a father? He said the most important thing he's told him, you can't change the score. Deal with where you are and what's ahead and get it back on track. Pretty good advice from a guy who's gotten a lot of teams back on track, guys.
Boy, isn't it ever? You can't change the score. That is perfect. Darby can't pick his way through this time. Dorsey just stood him up and dropped him. This kid is good.
When we talked to Bo Pelini yesterday, defensive coordinator, he says, I would be hard-pressed and you would be hard-pressed to show me a better guy at his position than Glenn Dorsey this year. Just stands up the block of Justin Britt, the left guard, holds his position, and meets Darby right in the beginning of the hole. I mean, that's just outstanding work by the defensive tackle.
And not just his athletic ability, his character, his attitude, his leadership. He gives them everything they could possibly want. And going off the field is Chris Capps, the right tackle.
Well, the good news for Alabama, Kyle Tatum, his backup, is a senior who has a lot of starting experience. Actually, Chris Capps beat out Kyle Tatum, so they've got some experience at that right tackle spot.
LSU's already lost Beckwith. We'll try to get a report on him, their leading tackler and starting linebacker. Here comes the blitz. John Parker Wilson hangs in there, but throws incomplete. Intended for DJ Hall, but behind him. Zenon with the coverage.
Well, there was pressure from the backside. Parker Wilson felt it. And just that was a tough one to hang on to. You had Tyson Jackson dropping back. It was a zone pressure. So pressure from the left and the end dropping off in the zone coverage got in the way of that throw.
Jamie Christensen will try a season-long 49-yard field goal. He's connected on 11 of 13 this year. Yanked it left. So Christensen trying to drive it as so many kickers do from long range. Got a little too much hook into it. And LSU will take over.
He missed the first 2 games of the year with a groin injury. Back healthy, has been pretty hot as of late. That one, as you called it, hook right away.
LSU takes over on its own 32-yard line. Russell throws complete out to the 40 to Bo. Check in with Reese. Tennessee trying to get back in that ball game. 2nd and 2. Williams is the tailback again, and he'll get the carry. And we'll have the first down if they spot it where his forward progress went. Bobby Greenwood, backup defensive end, made the tackle. This is a big game for LSU, of course, pending the outcome of the Arkansas game, because they're still in this. And if Arkansas loses tonight to Tennessee, they're alive. Otherwise, Arkansas and Florida have set themselves a date for the championship game.
Auburn with a big loss today at home to Georgia.
That stunned me. I know it didn't you, but it stunned me.
Well, it
You're smarter than I am.
it just stunned me that Auburn didn't play any better. But I mean, Georgia was due to have a good game.
Yeah.
They had more talent than their record was indicating.
Russell, pressure coming. Steps up, throws off the wrong foot, and throws a perfect strike to early Doucette at the 31-yard line. A gain of 26. What a talent this kid
and
is.
see, one of the misconceptions about Jamarcus Russell is that he's not a real nimble guy because he's so big. But watch this footwork. He sees the pressure. He feels it. He just steps up away from the pressure, throws it off balance, and throws it perfect accuracy on the move. I mean, that takes athleticism and good feet and good balance to be able to make that play. And he does that game after game after game.
Only 5 for 5 so far for 62 yards. Hester back at tailback. And Hester, trying to get to the outside, will pick up about a yard. Todd, when you watch Russell go back to throw, he is such a big guy. Sometimes he looks like he's slow.
Yeah.
You'd have to put a stopwatch on it, but it's probably because of his size.
Well, he does. He looks like he's kind of lumbering, but you know what? He ran for 71 yards last week against Tennessee.
High.
I mean, it was a career high and a couple big-time scrambles. When he has to go and he has to move, he can move his feet. I mean, he was a great basketball player in high school, still is a great basketball player around campus here. So he has athletic ability to go with that big frame and the big arm.
Of course, I guess if he looked really quick at 6'6", 260, he'd scare everybody to death. Little swing, Doucette, 20, got a block. Early Doucette, touchdown. And what a block by Diakowski, the right tackle. He hustled downfield, and he got that touchdown for early Doucette. And how does a guy named Diakowski end up in Louisiana?
The only Canadian ever in the history of LSU football to play here gets a key block on a touchdown.
Colt David for the point after. Perfect. And LSU has scored the first 2 times it's touched the ball. And Alabama's already dug itself a 14-point hole.
Saturday on ESPNU, it's a full day of college football. At noon, the Wisconsin Badgers take on Buffalo. Then at 7:30, the 8-1 Louisville Cardinals host South Florida. The action begins Saturday at noon, exclusively on ESPNU.
Honey, I think I found the problem.
Want an easy way to keep your engine clean? Use Conoco Phillips 66 and 76 Quality Pro Clean gasolines. They meet the tough top-tier standard developed by BMW, Honda, GM, and Toyota to help keep your engine running its best. Conoco Phillips 66 and 76. Life happens between empty and full.
Using only my City Premier Pass credit card, I earn rewards points crazy fast, and I will do it restrained with this restraining device. I start with the points for buying my ticket and Victor's ticket, then earn points for my miles and his. Unbelievable. Using only the City Premier Pass credit card, I rock the house. Big time. Rewarding. Very, very, very rewarding.
So, have you been on a lot of blind dates?
Well, this would make one.
Oh,
Yeah.
me too. What do you do?
I'm a vet.
I love animals.
Really? Where are you from?
Michigan, born and raised. Go Blue.
to make your mark. The expectations clearly defined are simply a championship. What lies ahead is the mission, because victory requires a little bit more. One heart, one soul, one team. So don't just play the game, raise it. The NCAA Fall Championships, this December on ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Welcome back to Baton Rouge. 92,400 enjoying this one immensely. Only 7:33 left in the first quarter, and it's already 14-0.
Well, Les Miles has to be thrilled with the start of his offense. They're sharp, they're efficient. They're protecting the football. They had 4 turnovers last week against Tennessee, and really they almost lost that game because of the turnovers. They dominated statistically.
Great planning by Les Miles and Jimbo Fisher as they come out with those scripted plays, and they have done such a great job of that.
Go back to the touchdown. We've talked about Jamarcus Russell's athleticism. As Early Doucette is going to run this little route out here, keep your eye on this guy, Chris Harris. As he comes across the line, Jamarcus Russell has to pick him up right away. Now, right now, he sees where the problem is, right here. He's tall enough, though, to throw over Chris Harris and get that ball to Early Doucette, and Doucette does the rest. Picks up the big block from Diakowski down the field, but it's the athleticism and the size, all that combination for Russell.
Little delay, and then the handoff to Jimmy Johns, who was in for the first time. That was his 51st carry of the season, so he has had some considerable action this year. Jimmy Johns out of Brookhaven, Mississippi. Now, if you're Alabama, obviously it's not too late in the ball game to stick to your game plan.
Well, you have to. I mean, your game plan and your team is not built to just drop back and throw it every down, especially against a defense as good as LSU. So you have to stay with what you came into the game with and hope you can possess the football a little bit.
John Parker Wilson with time. Now he'll take off. 40. First down to the 43, dragged down from behind by Jacob Cutrera after a gain of 13. Let's go to Reese. No wonder the guy was so wide open.
You know, I think Darren McFadden is as good a running back as there is in the country. I think it's too late in the season, and he was too unknown for the Heisman. But next year, he should be one of the top candidates coming into next football season.
Johns is the tailback, and now Wilson is going to have to use a timeout as the play clock was running down. They had Castile in there as the fullback with Johns behind him. Next Saturday, ABC will be your home for the most anticipated matchup of the college football season. The number 2 ranked Michigan Wolverines against Heisman hopeful Troy Smith and Ohio State in a battle of unbeatens, a trip to the BCS championship game on the line. College football presented by Best Buy next Saturday on ABC at 3:30 Eastern. Game we've all been looking forward to.
Well, and I really think it's one of those games that has the opportunity to live up to the hype. You know, these two teams have been outstanding all season. They've had a couple scares 2 weeks ago, but they are on that collision course, and they've been that way. And
I think all those one-loss teams are hoping that Ohio State's going to win.
Yeah.
Because that would probably drop down Michigan far enough to get everybody in the mix. I think everyone else is afraid if Michigan wins that ball game close, that then they're looking at a rematch in the championship game, at least the potential of it between Ohio State and Michigan. And a lot of teams don't want that. They want their shot to get in there.
Well, you know, you never think that a team, if you lose that late, that you would have a chance to play for it. But if it was Ohio State, who's been number 1 wire to wire, they would probably have a chance, depending on how that game went. But it's going to be a great football game. I live in Ohio. I live in Canton, Ohio, and of course that's huge Ohio State country, and the Buckeye fans have been counting down the days and the minutes for that one.
5:56 to go in the quarter. Play action, good protection. Now it breaks down. What a catch. Right on top of the grass with his fingertips is Brown.
Yeah, great catch and a great throw by John Parker Wilson under duress from Glenn Dorsey. I mean, John Parker Wilson has to keep retreating away from Dorsey to make this throw. That's why it's a little bit low, and Keith Brown comes back to it and takes it off his shoe tops.
That is really hard to be running as fast as he was and to be able to bend over that far and maintain control of that football. It's a big-time catch. With Brown and Hall are big-time receivers. This one is incomplete, intended for Hall.
I'll tell you one thing.
He was covered very well by Xenon.
One thing you can tell, though, in this game right now is that Alabama's offensive line must have had a good week of practice because they look much different and much better than they did a week ago at home against Mississippi State. This is the best defense in the country that they're going up against, and I think the best front four in the country. And they are doing a nice job of protecting John Parker Wilson right now and opening some holes in the running game.
Running play will only get a couple for Johns. Check in with Holly.
Well, guys, they're opening those holes in the running game right now without Chris Capps, their starting right tackle. He's being evaluated on the sideline with a right knee injury. Also for the LSU defense, Dari Beckwith out with a sprained knee. They're trying to fit him with a brace. He is questionable return, but they're trying to get him back in and see if he can go once they get the brace fitted.
And Holly Beckwith, huge for them because they had moved him exclusively to the middle. He had been training at both the will linebacker, the weak side, and the middle, and had become very comfortable in the middle in this team's leading tackle. 3rd and 7. They go to 4 wide receivers. Set up short and throw. Complete for a first down, and it was Hall.
Now you can get in great shape. Build muscle. And you can do it fast. All you have to do is dial it up. Turn up the results with the Bowflex Select Tech free weight system. Now you can dial up the weight you want, anywhere from 5 to 52.5 pounds on one single dumbbell. Want 15 pounds? Just turn the dial to 15 and start lifting. Ready for 40? All it takes is the turn of a dial. Now you can get powerful biceps, a sexy core, even chiseled legs in an easy 30-minute workout. Call now to order your Bowflex Select Tech free weight system for no money down and payments as low as $5 a month. Order now and we'll include this free DVD, Secrets of the 4-Step Rep, that teaches you perfect free weight techniques. It's time to turn up your results. Call and get your Bowflex Select Tech for just $5 a month today.
If it's played on a campus, it's on ESPNU.
Over the shoulder goal! Wow!
The best college sports action all year long.
Wisconsin wins! Oregon State brings a national championship!
Here's what's playing tomorrow night. Hit the hardwood for basketball action. First at 7, Sacred Heart takes on North Carolina. At 11, Stanford meets San Jose State. ESPNU, always in season.
People love their hover-round power chairs.
You made me love you.
I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it.
Hi, I'm Tom Cruise, inventor of the Hover-Round. I can't sing, but I can guarantee you'll love what you can do in your Hover-Round.
I love getting out of my house again, and boy, is it easy.
I love Hover-Round because it did not cost me 1 penny.
I'm amazed at the people who say they love us just because we got them their Hover-Round at little or no cost.
It's time you fell in love with a hover-round and learned how to be independent again. Call today to get this free information kit, which includes a free video and a free test drive certificate. You'll also get this special comparison guide that tells you how to choose the power chair that's right for you.
You made me love you.
Call 1-800-494-3155 today. That's 1-800-494-3155.
You tell me somebody off the Wake Forest campus that would tell you a game at Florida State late in the season would be important. Wide open. Darby, touchdown. 29 yards, ran a wheel route, and a perfect throw from John Parker Wilson.
Well, Mike Shula is going to his bag of tricks. He's pulling it all out tonight. He knows he needs to. His defense having a little trouble. A beautifully executed throwback by John Parker Wilson, and Kenneth Darby with a big Alabama touchdown. It was a great call.
John Parker Wilson, 6 out of 8 on that drive, threw for 64 yards. And now Christensen will come on for the point after. Boy, Alabama needed that badly.
They've moved the ball. They just got to figure out a way to stop LSU.
Crimson Tide on the board, 14-7, first quarter, Saturday night in Baton Rouge.
ESPN College Game Day, Saturdays at 10 a.m.
Starting a new garden doesn't have to be backbreaking. Not when you have the Mantis Tiller Cultivator. It does all the hard work for you. The powerful 2-cycle engine spins the patented tines deep into the soil. It cuts through the hardest clay and tangled weeds, yet maneuvers nimbly through the tightest spaces. Now get this amazing Mantis at huge factory direct savings. Plus, we'll give you this border edger free. Call now for complete information.
1-800-396-3535.
The creators of Finding Nemo and Toy Story have done it again.
Okay, I'm good.
It's the #1 animated movie of the year.
This is the most glorious day of my life.
With an all-new exclusive short, Mater and the Ghost Line.
I don't need a map. I have the GPS. Never need a map again.
Disney Pixar's Cars. Own it today on DVD.
Yeah, I'd give my left 2 lug nuts, something like that.
Saturday, ESPNU brings you a full day of college football. At noon, talented rusher P.J. Hill of number 12, Wisconsin.
Look at this, he's still going.
Take on Buffalo. Then at 7:30,
Braun to the air, touchdown.
number 10, Louisville looks to get back on track against South Florida. The action begins Saturday at noon, exclusively on ESPNU. College football lives here.
With my credit, I never thought I'd qualify for a new computer. But with Blue Hippo, all I need is a home phone and a checking account, and approval is guaranteed.
We're talking to people who have discovered Blue Hippo Funding's Guaranteed Approval Program. It doesn't matter if you have bad credit or no credit because we don't check your credit. Your approval is guaranteed with just an active checking account.
I started my own home business, something I never could have done without a computer.
And if you call and order now, we'll include this ultra-thin 20-inch LCD TV complete with mounting brackets and speakers absolutely free. And we'll also include this color printer absolutely free. These accessories are free when you call and order now.
I don't know why anyone wouldn't take advantage of this. It's a great offer.
Mom, can I go on the computer now?
Just a minute.
This is your chance to get a brand new brand name computer from Blue Hippo, regardless of your credit. And by calling and ordering now, you'll receive this color printer and this 20-inch flat panel LCD TV for free. So call in the next 10 minutes.
Darby being congratulated on the sideline as he makes that touchdown catch on a perfect throw and cuts the lead in half.
Alabama has been able to move the football, second only to LSU in first downs in the SEC, but been woeful in the red zone scoring touchdowns. That was a huge touchdown, 29-yard reception.
Holiday and Doucette are deep. Holiday only 5'5", 159. Oh. And he got that 159 frame shaken by Marquise Johnson.
Let's go back to the Alabama touchdown. Watch Chevis Jackson now. As Darby goes outside, Chevis Jackson is just going to get caught looking back inside at the action of the quarterback. He's okay now, but right now he's taking himself out of position, and Darby's going to run right by him, and an excellent throw by John Parker Wilson. Send the action one way, get the defense flowing, and then keeps that ball outside to Darby. Excellent call and beautiful execution.
LSU starts from its own 19-yard line. They shift to this side of the formation. Williams, the deep man in the eye, and he'll get that little toss. And Keelan Williams turns nothing into about 6 yards. Let's go to Holly Rowe.
Guys, that was a long time in coming for Kenneth Darby. He hadn't scored a touchdown yet this season. Guys, his reaction was so cute on the sideline. He was just relieved. He actually gathered some of his teammates together, and they said a little thank you prayer right here on the sideline. The offensive line is so excited they came over and gave him a hug, too.
Holly, he was the only Division I running back with more than 100 carries that had not scored a touchdown this year, and I'm sure that's a big load off of his shoulders.
Any way you can get one.
Russell with a short set and zings one to early Doucette out at the 34-yard line.
Well, again, now the onus is on the Alabama defense, because think of it this way. Alabama's offense, they've had 17 plays. They've gained 110 yards here in the first quarter. LSU's defense is only giving up 215 yards a game. Yep. So Alabama's offense is doing their part. It's up to Joe Kynes and the Alabama defense now to figure out some way to get Jamarcus Russell off rhythm, because right now he's in a good rhythm.
It's only 7 out of 7 for 101 yards. I mean, the Alabama defense has barely slowed down LSU so far. Here is Hester. And Hester rips off 11 out to the 45-yard line. The runs work, the passes work, everything's working. Let's go to Reese for a 30-30. Justin Vincent has checked in for the first time for LSU. He's number 25, one of 6 different tailbacks they use. And finally, Jamarcus Russell misfires on something a little too high for Doucette.
He looks comfortable tonight.
Doesn't he?
He really does. He's one of those guys that he has such a great arm. And again, some of his mistakes in his career have come because he just believes he's the best player on the field, the best athlete. He can just force it in there. You know, kind of the same thing with a John Elway, a Brett Favre. Yep. You know, their greatest strength and their confidence in their abilities sometimes causes them to force throws, but he's not forced any tonight.
Williams back in there at tailback. Look at that hole. Williams up near the 49-yard line.
Well, one of the things that Jamarcus Russell, we've said he's 6'6", 260 pounds, but look at that meat hook. I mean, that's what he uses to throw the football. That's an average guy's hand, of our camera guys. Jamarcus's hand is not an average hand. Andy Irwin's hand is normal. Jamarcus's hand is not so normal.
Well, neither's the rest of them. 6'6", 260. Blitz coming. They pick it up. Russell goes forward and then throws to Doucette down to the 45-yard line.
You know, I thought one of the most unique things that Jimbo Fisher, the offensive coordinator, was telling us yesterday when we met with him talking about Jamarcus Russell, says he has incredible hand talent. You know, we kind of pressed him on that. What do you mean by that? Well, just his ability to just catch shotgun snaps and his ability to just flip the ball out and throw the ball deep downfield in the little touch swing passes. There's Jimbo calling the offensive plays. Doing a great job here at LSU, going forward on 4th down and 1. Of course, it looks like they're going to wait till the end of the quarter and talk about it a little more thoroughly. But Jamarcus Russell's ability to catch the football and throw it in a lot of different ways, very, very unique.
See if they'll make the same decision when we start the second quarter as they were ready to at the end of the first. 14-7, LSU back in a moment.
It is rare that you can have one regular season college football game where you say the winner goes to the national championship game. But that's what we have when Michigan plays Ohio State. Mike Hall and Tom Luganbill here. Which head coach would you rather have in this game?
Well, you mentioned national championships, so I'm going to go with Jim Tressel. Not only has he done it at Ohio State, but he's also done it at the Division I AA level at Youngstown State. And for my money, he has been there, done that several times with different teams, with different personalities. And I think he's got a real good feel and psyche about what his football team is made of, not to mention 4-1 versus the Michigan Wolverines.
And he will be coaching at home in this mammoth game, 1 versus 2 on ABC this Saturday, 3:30 Eastern time. It's, again, tough to ask for anything much better than this. A great rivalry, and the numbers next to their names make it that much better. 1 versus 2. Make sure you join us on ABC, 2:30 Central Time.
No curb appeal. Hate the color. Oh, honey, this is it.
What you got there is an infestation.
A lot of life happens in your car. Conoco, Phillips 66 and 76 quality ProClean gasolines help clean your engine as you drive.
The pink wasn't so bad.
So you can focus on more important things. Conoco, Phillips 66 and 76. Life happens between empty and full.
In the SEC, the competition is fierce. The rivalries are intense. It's one reason why we have great players and great games. But to truly be great, to be a true winner, this requires character, sportsmanship. And it's not just on the field or on the court. We must show respect as fans, whether in victory or in defeat. Sportsmanship. Everyone has a part to play.
Welcome back to a Saturday night in Death Valley, where number 12 LSU has a second quarter lead on Alabama, 14-7. Our legendary friend Beano Cook said Dracula and LSU football are at their best after the sun goes down. And I don't know about Dracula, but LSU certainly is. That they actually have a losing record during the day here. At night, they've won 80% of their games. Williams breaks a tackle, drags a man with him to the 40-yard line. They went for it on 4th and 1. Simeon Castile made the tackle, so they did not change their mind.
No. And Simeon Castile saved a touchdown. Not only made the tackle, Alabama committing all their bodies to the line of scrimmage. Watch what happens if Williams breaks this tackle from Castile. He takes it all the way to the end zone. Castile just hung on for dear life.
Joe Kynes knew they missed an opportunity to stop him on downs and get great field position. And now Russell goes back to work under a lot of pressure. Look at that strength. Now he's got a convoy and dives forward to the 35. Took a 15-yard loss into a 5-yard gain. Let's go to Reese. LSU marching here. They've reached the 35.
Go Tigers!
And they are just cutting through Alabama's defense. Now Ali Broussard is in at tailback. There goes Broussard. 25, 20. When Ali Broussard is in this game, you've got a 250-pound tailback and a 260-pound quarterback. You put in a 240-pound fullback, you're going to kill people.
Well, you hope Ali Broussard gets back. I mean, this is a guy that before his knee injury was just off to a terrific start as a young freshman running back. He's a junior now. He came back this year. His rehab didn't go all that great. He gained a little bit of weight. He's got the knee feeling good now. He's got his weight under control. Next year he has a chance to come back full strength and full speed ahead if he's got his mind right, and he's a talent when he's ready to go.
We saw him the other day when we were leaving the complex. He says, I just need a chance for the end zone. Boom! Touchdown! Holy cow, Jamarcus Russell just on fire. This is some football team. It's amazing that they've lost 2 games this year. I don't know anybody that's any better.
No, I don't either. I mean, and you think about the games they lost. When they lost to Auburn, they couldn't run it a lick and they couldn't score. They lost 7-3. They had 5 turnovers at Florida, and they gave the game away in that way. But when they protect the football, they are outstanding.
Colt David for the point after. Tell you what, when they have the bowl assignments and they tell LSU where they're going, nobody's going to want to be on the other end of that one. 21-7, LSU.
All power with no shift shock. The next Nissan Maxima with CVT, part of the next generation of Nissan thinking.
There are better ways to save on your energy bill, and you can find them at the Home Depot. From clinics to helpful tips online to over 2,000 energy-saving products, we're proud to help you burn less energy and less money.
So you like it?
The Home Depot, the government's 2006 Energy Star Retail Partner of the Year.
Welcome to the now. Depot, curiosity,
Feast your eyes on the newest Jerry Springer Uncensored show. It's all new Springer Madness just in time for the holidays. Jerry Springer Uncensored, Naked Rumble 6. Feast fight. Anger erupts, the clothes come off, and the stuffing hits the fan. We can't show you here, but you can see it all if you order Naked Rumble 6 Feast Fight, proving once again that turkeys really do fly.
Happy Thanksgiving!
Now playing on pay-per-view.
Working from home changed my life.
It all started when I was referred by this free service.
With all the money I made working from home, I bought a new home. This is the one website you have to visit.
Put your computer to work now.
All you need is a computer and a little belief in yourself.
I'm making $5,000 a month.
I make over $7,000 a month working part-time.
I love the lifestyle my home business offers, and the money's great too.
Log on to 8earnmore.com now.
ESPN's college football primetime with Alabama taking on LSU from Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Due to time constraints, we move ahead in our coverage. Well, that's not good. That is a good young quarterback. You don't want to see him hurt. Good protection.
Wow.
And what a catch. Beautiful catch by DJ Hall.
Beautiful catch, beautiful throw over the outside shoulder, and excellent protection. Again, I think Alabama's offensive line has played beautifully here in the first half. They hold off the rush. They give Parker Wilson time to step up, and he throws it over the outside shoulder, which is almost impossible for a corner to defend. Even though the corner's in pretty decent position, Daniel Francis, that ball's over the outside shoulder, can't make a play on it. But
Statistically, this is the best defense in the country.
Yeah.
The number 7 against the pass, number 6 against the run, number 1 overall, and number 3 against scoring. And Alabama's moved the ball on. Another complete one to Hall. Spins out of a tackle inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
See, the one thing about this defense is I think they are exceptionally strong. I don't think the corners are as good as they've had here in the past. I think they're good cover corners, but not lockdown guys. Zenon and Chevis Jackson are good players, but they're not the kind of lockdown guys they've had here in the past. But the problem is they're so hard to block and they're so hard to keep away from your quarterback. But if you can protect your quarterback and you have some good wideouts like Alabama has, there are plays to be made down the field in the passing game.
Zenon whiffed on that one. So Alabama sets up shop at the LSU 18-yard line. Darby just got back to the line of scrimmage, swallowed up by Favorite. And and he's wolfing at that offensive line. Both quarterbacks have played well, certainly, here in the first quarter. They've both thrown for 125 yards so far. First half, I should say.
Talked a lot about Jamarcus Russell and his comfort level tonight and where he's come. Is 21-4 as a starter. John Parker Wilson, his first year as a starter, replacing a 3-year starter and an Alabama icon of Brody Croyle. He's had a pretty fine season for his first year as a starter as well.
He's already set a school record with 7 straight 200-yard passing games. Tailback wrapped up again. Favorite, the 295-pound sophomore.
One of the biggest problems for Alabama this year has been their inability to score touchdowns in the red zone. Take a look at that. Only 15 touchdowns and 43 opportunities. They've moved the ball well between the 20s, and part of that is a young quarterback. Everything happens faster in the red zone. Your reads have to happen a little bit quicker. They play different coverages in the red zone because they don't have to cover depth of the field. Here they are again, a big third down in the red zone.
4 wide receivers, 3 to the near side. And now Alabama wants to use a timeout. From the sideline, they did not like the defensive setup that LSU had out there.
LSU was showing pressure all the way on that third down play.
Using only my City Premier Pass credit card, I earn rewards points crazy fast, and I will do it restrained with this restraining device. I start with the points for buying my ticket and Victor's ticket, then earn points for my miles and his. Unbelievable. Using only the City Premier Pass credit card, I rock the house. Big time. Rewarding. Very, very, very rewarding.
Hey, you want to see something cool?
Now you can hang out with an NFL quarterback.
Hey, I'm coming to your house.
Fathead is a larger-than-life limited edition wall graphic that brings all the NFL action right into your home or office.
Fathead is huge. That's how big a Fathead is.
Just peel and place. Fathead is easy to put up and can be moved over and over.
Coolest thing is, put it on the wall. You don't like it there? Peel it off, put it on another wall.
Too big and real for stores. Fathead.com's where you can also find all your favorite players and teams. Officially licensed by the Collegiate Licensing Company, NASCAR, the NBA, the NFL, and Players Inc.
Fathead is the coolest thing out right now. You get a fat head.
Fathead are for true NFL fans only.
Take those posters off the wall, kick them out, and put on Fathead.
Fathead. Go big. Real big.
Did you call me a fathead? Hello, people in TV land, get a fathead.
What is Crimson? Crimson is USA Today's #1 academic All-America team. It's being 13th in the nation in National Merit Scholars, where America's best and brightest are mentored by the best and brightest. It's the pride of Alabama's flagship university. Crimson is the University of Alabama.
And as Todd said, Arkansas is getting better. I mean, you can visibly see them getting better as the season's progressed.
And you just wonder how much that loss at home to LSU last week affected Tennessee tonight.
Yep. Big play here. John Parker Wilson to throw. Good protection, incomplete contact, and a foul.
That was a definite holding.
Chevis Jackson was all over Keith Brown. See if it's a hold or interference.
Well, that might be a gift for Alabama because I'm not sure that they would have completed that pass.
Number 21 on the defense. The ball is placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
But whatever the cause, Alabama will take it. A first down.
You bet.
Now they're deeper into the red zone.
And certainly a legitimate call.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I'm not a big fan of that uncatchable ball rule. Depending on when the foul occurs, it can make the ball uncatchable.
Right, yeah. If you throw it 8 rows up in the seats, that's uncatchable.
Yeah, exactly. Can Alabama cut into this lead? Darby is the tailback. First and goal. John Parker Wilson takes off, got to the 7. Caught from behind by Alexander, number 91.
Pretty good idea. I mean, I don't think you're going to be able to just run it right against this LSU defense into the end zone. Mike Shula opting to throw on first down, and John Parker Wilson didn't like what he saw. Tried to get up the middle and get what he could. He did that the last play of the first half last week against Mississippi State and came up about 6 inches short of a score that could have been critically huge for them to end the first half.
That was a great defensive stand by Mississippi State. All the receivers to the near side. Darby's the tailback. John Parker Wilson will go to the other side to the corner and touchdown.
Big play.
Oh, what a throw. Perfect throw. And caught by Nikita Stover.
Well, they had single coverage outside. Stover working on Jonathan Zenon, and that looked like a check at the line of scrimmage by John Parker Wilson to change either protection or the play. Whatever the case, an outstanding drive again by Alabama to draw closer. Offense doing their part for the Tide tonight.
Perfect throw by John Parker Wilson. The point after is good. And Alabama comes right back in LSU's face. They go 80 yards in 4:29 against the best defense in the country.
Well, here's the matchup. Stover on the outside, the sophomore. Just a little out route, and Zenon gave him a lot of cushion. One-on-one coverage out there, and that was an easy throw for John Parker Wilson. But credit Wilson for checking to the protection or checking to the throw at the line of scrimmage. And Alabama gets a touchdown in the red zone.
Now here's today's Good Hands Flashback presented by Allstate. 2001, Alabama and LSU. And Josh Reed had the game of his life. He may have had the game of anyone's life. 19 catches, 293 yards. Both of those are SEC records. Reed ended up winning the Biletnikoff Award, given the nation's top receiver later that season. How do you let a guy catch 19 passes? I mean, at some point, don't you go, wait a minute, this guy is killing us. We got to find somebody to cover him.
Well, they threw a little bit of everything to him. I did that game, and they threw bubble screens to him, quick screens down the field, and he was definitely the go-to guy that day.
Holiday and Doucette will go back for LSU. Onside kick, and they got it.
How about that?
Alabama gambles and wins.
What a great call. You're having trouble stopping them on defense. Try to get the ball back some other way.
Jeffrey Dukes, Johnny on the spot, recovers the onside kick. Big play by number 3. Boy, they caught him off guard.
Wow, the question, man, that was pretty. He's got to go 10 yards, got to go past the yellow. Oh, that's beautiful execution. The only guy for LSU that had a shot at it was Jacob Kutrera, the backup linebacker, and he just kind of didn't make a move at the football.
Well, so much for that conservative label on Mike Shula.
Yeah.
That's a big-time gamble there. Got a chance to get right back in this thing, down by only a touchdown. John Parker Wilson back to throw, steps up, had it blocked, and almost intercepted. Glenn Dorsey tipped the pass.
He was trying to flip it to his tailback. Jimmy John's out of the backfield, and Dorsey got a hand on it and changed the flight of the ball. Actually, it hit his own guy. I think it hit Caldwell, the center, in the head.
And Luke Sanders nearly had it. They are on their feet in Baton Rouge. You usually don't see this defense pushed around like this. Blitz coming. Jimmy John's on the toss. Nowhere to go. Cuts outside, breaks a tackle, and that's a first down.
Great patience by Jimmy Johns, because that didn't look like it was going to open up, but he just kind of waited and he waited, and pretty soon he saw a crease on the corner.
Todd, that's a perfect word for it.
Yeah, if he rushes it, he gets about a half-yard gain, but he waited and waited, and Keith Brown, the wide receiver, did a great job sealing the corner for him at the edge of the play.
That was a great block by number 81. And Alabama has that LSU defense on its heels right now. Johns the tailback. McClain is in, the big blocking fullback. Johns lowers his shoulder inside the 35. It is not unusual for Alabama to come in here and play well. Not only play well, but win. Since 1971, they won 15 out of 18. That's unbelievable.
Well, that's what's so funny. You read that quote in the beginning from Bear Bryant about how tough a place it was. I don't think he ever lost it. Maybe once only. He was 16-4 overall against LSU in his career.
Well, he never lost anywhere.
That's right.
John Parker Wilson with all night to throw. Incomplete, right in the hands that time, and Brown couldn't hold it. Jackson was there, but that was catchable.
Yeah, we've seen him make some outstanding one-handed catches, but this time he wasn't able to pull it down. Again, though, good protection, because this was a kind of a slow developing route, and right in between two defenders, John Parker Wilson put the football there, not able to come up with the catch. It's kind of a combo coverage with the safety Jackson or the safety Stelz and the corner Jackson.
Now there's a flag on this play.
Personal foul, chop block. Number 10 on the offense, 15 yards, repeat second down.
Jimmy Johns apparently blocked somebody while they were engaged with another blocker. And that is one of the real bad penalties in football. Players hate that.
Yeah, you want your backs to help chip and help be able to help protection, but watch Jimmy Johns he's gonna get involved in a block that the tight end Travis McCall's engaged in right there. And there's the chop block. Good call.
They'll go with 4 wide receivers. John Parker Wilson back to throw, had that one behind Cadell, and nearly, or Jackson at least had a shot at it. Got a red zone alert on Arkansas and Tennessee.
Arkansas is just getting after Tennessee.
They're just eating their lunch in the bag. It came at 28-7, driving for more.
You know what's coming with Arkansas. They're going to run the football. They might put McFadden at the quarterback position some and try to change it up, but they're going to run it. Still have to stop it.
Four-man rush. Finally a little pressure. John Parker Wilson can't throw, going to his left.
Big stop by the LSU defense. They had to come onto the field. The sudden change after the onside kick.
Tyson Jackson ended up with the tackle. And what was fascinating to me, John Parker Wilson ended up on top of Jackson, and he was giving him grief while they're both on the ground.
I'm not sure that there's a lot of future in that.
No. Find the smallest guy out there.
I think Jonathan Zenon. He's probably the skinniest guy out there. I'd pick him if I was going to chirp to anybody.
Hey, somebody has to punt. P.J. Fitzgerald is on to kick the first punt for either team. And early Doucette is back to receive it at the 15.
Good coverage.
Loses 2 on the return after a 33-yard kick. The woofing hasn't even started yet. And it's a 7-point game.
Honey, I think I found the problem.
Want an easy way to keep your engine clean? Use Conoco Phillips 66 and 76 Quality Pro Clean gasolines. They meet the tough top-tier standard developed by BMW, Honda, GM, and Toyota to help keep your engine running its best. Conoco Phillips 66 and 76. Life happens between empty and full.
I am so tired of overpaying for health insurance.
Wow, I pay a lot less, and that covers me and my family.
If you're self-employed or an individual looking for affordable health insurance for yourself and your family, do what I did. Call the Mega Life and Health Insurance Company for a free quote.
I got individual attention from a licensed Mega agent who helped me tailor a plan to match my needs and was way more than affordable.
I got great coverage at a great rate, and I could choose my own doctor on my own or from the network.
Now get this. You're covered 24/7 whether you're on the job, at home, or anywhere in the world. So, do what I did.
Call the Mega Life and Health Insurance Company for your free quote. You have absolutely no obligation, except the one to yourself, your family, and your business.
Call 800-826-8007 for your mega affordable health insurance quote. Call 800-826-8007.
Framed for a murder he didn't commit. Detective Brett Hopper will relive the worst day of his life.
You gotta be kidding, right?
Like it was his last day on Earth.
These past 3 days, I've woken up and it's the same day.
I don't understand.
It's the same time, it's the same place. The day is the same, but different things happen. You believe in second chances?
Taye Diggs. Daybreak. 2-hour series premiere Wednesday, 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
4,800 student athletes. 2,200 named to academic honor roll. 17 named first team academic All-American. 12 universities. 1 mission. The Southeastern Conference, equipping tomorrow's leaders today.
ESPN's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by Under Armour Performance. The advantage is undeniable. And Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Welcome back to Baton Rouge, and here is tonight's Aflac trivia question. Which head coach had more wins, Don Shula in the NFL, or was it Bear Bryant in college? And the answer later on, along with another quack. LSU takes over at its own 13 after finally stopping Alabama, and Williams will take it across the 15-yard line.
For Alabama now, very critical here in the last 7 minutes of the first half to not allow LSU to mount another drive and get another score. Their offense has played well. Joe Kynes just wants one stop here and go into halftime and try to make a few adjustments. They've tried a 4-man line. They've tried a 3-man line. And they've not been able to do a lot against Jamarcus Russell. Part of the problem is because they have 3 outstanding wideouts, it's dangerous to blitz because you've got bad matchups.
Russell short set.
Threw it away.
Alabama has had a tough time on the road, and here's why. Had to play Arkansas, Florida, Tennessee, and now LSU. Nobody is going to do really well against that.
Well, and you got to remember, too, that Arkansas game back on September 23rd, Alabama had Arkansas beat. I mean, they were driving. They were setting up for a game-winning field goal. The score was tied. And the kicker, Lee Tiffin, missed 3 field goals that day, including the one that would have won it in regulation. Then he missed an extra point in overtime, and they lost. And they played well in those other road games as well.
Russell under pressure, throws underneath. Hester somehow made the catch and got away. But he still needs a lot of help, yeah. And lost a couple of more yards on his retreat. And then buried back near the line of scrimmage.
He helped Alabama on that one, because if he would have just turned straight upfield, he might have gotten close to the first down.
That was only the second time all night, Todd, that they have faced a third down. The offense has been that efficient.
I think before that drive, they've been averaging just about 10 yards per play on first down.
Last season, certainly, they did a better job in net punting. Almost 7 yards different this year. And Chris Jackson to kick it away. Got it out of there for Arenas. He can't come up with it, and they will start from the 40-yard line after a punt of 42. Next Saturday, of course, ABC will be your home for the most anticipated matchup all year in college football. Number 2, Michigan against Heisman hopeful Troy Smith and the Ohio State Buckeyes in a battle of unbeatens with a trip to the BCS championship game on the line. College football presented by Best Buy next Saturday on ABC at 3:30 Eastern. And I have to assume that if Troy Smith plays well in that game and Ohio State wins, that he's going to pick up some hardware.
I think so, too. I think he's the front runner for sure. And I think he's the reason Ohio State will win that game. I think his ability as a dual-threat quarterback makes the difference for Ohio State in that ballgame.
Darby, the tailback. Can they drive again? Pressure.
That's a grounding.
That should be intentional grounding. Yep. John Parker Wilson simply got rid of that one.
It's a good idea to try to get rid of the football and avoid the sack, but you're not outside the tackle box.
You have to be a little trickier, don't you?
And the ball didn't cross the line of scrimmage. Now, the only thing is, were they trying to throw a screen? If they were trying to set up a screen pass and there was a back in the area, then maybe it's an incomplete pass.
Intentional grounding. Number 14 on the offense. The penalty is a loss of down. Despite the foul. Second down.
Mike Shula pleading his case.
Well, take a look here. Watch what Darby does when he goes through the line. Is he setting up for a screen? No, he crosses the line of scrimmage. Now, he is circling out, but he's over the line of scrimmage. And the ball, in order to throw it away, it has to cross the line of scrimmage, and you have to be outside the tackle box. He's saying he was throwing it to Darby, but
unfortunately, Darby was about 15 yards away. He's not going to sell that one. It's a big penalty because it's loss of down back at the 29-yard line. They have to get to the 50 for the first down.
Well, John Parker Wilson needs to be smart with the football here. He hasn't thrown a lot of interceptions, but 2 of them last week, very costly in the first half.
Conservative call, draw play to Darby, picks up a couple to the 32. Reese, what's happening?
There's a lot of woofing going on here.
A big third down here, 3rd and 19 as we approach 4 minutes. First half of play in Baton Rouge. All night to throw. Brown makes the catch. Still needs some yardage for the first down. It'd be about 5 yards shy.
But they at least got it out in an area where if they punt the football now, they should be able to pin LSU down deep here right before the end of the half and help their defense. It's a good throw on 3rd down. Hard to make up all that ground in one play, but at least they got some field position in order to kick the football down into LSU's territory.
Fitzgerald, who averages 38 yards a kick, will punt to early Doucette.
LSU only has 10 guys. Here comes the 11th guy. A little late getting onto the field.
Doucette still looking toward the sideline. Maybe asking which way they want to return, if they want to return. We'll never know.
That was a short kick.
Only 33 yards, and that was with about a 15-yard roll. The answer to tonight's Aflac trivia question: which head coach had more wins, Don Shula in the NFL or Bear Bryant in college? You get to answer one, you know?
Well, I would have guessed Bear Bryant. I would have been wrong, obviously.
Don Shula, 328. Bear Bryant, 323. Two pretty good careers. Now LSU from the 21. Russell wants a screen. Williams pretty well covered by Alabama. Prince Hall, the middle linebacker, led the charge. It's a pretty good offensive spot for a team. You can call almost anything. If you happen to break one, then you're in business.
Well, they still have a decent amount of time, 2.5 minutes, and LSU has all 3 of their timeouts. So they can do just about what they want right here to finish the half.
They spread the field here.
Nice play by Prince Hall. I thought that was going to break for a big one.
And Hester cannot get the first down. Let's go to Holly.
Hey, guys, something to keep your eye on. Keelan Williams, a freshman that was getting his first start tonight at tailback for LSU, twisted his ankle a couple of plays ago. They have wrapped it up, but you can see he's obviously not at full strength. He is definitely favoring it. We'll see if he can continue to be a factor here.
All right, thanks, Holly. He sure got off to a great start tonight, didn't he?
Well, Ali Broussard is back in the game now on this 3rd down and 1. We saw him with 1 big carry already in the ball game.
Broussard
get it that time.
Can't get it, and it was the middle linebacker again, Prince Hall. Stopped the 238-pound tailback. He's down from 250, but still a very powerful kid.
Well, Prince Hall is 255.
Yeah,
he's 255. We saw him run to the sideline and get Hester. Now we see him meet the big back in the hole. 2 outstanding plays in a row by the middle linebacker, a freshman out of Moreno Valley, California.
And Alabama will use a timeout to conserve the clock. Stop it at 1:31. They'll be able to get the ball back on the LSU punt. Let's go to Reese.
Tomorrow at 2 p.m. when they host West Virginia, the first game of the Basketball Travelers Classic. The Lady Tigers then host Howard on Monday at 7:15 and conclude the event when they take on Virginia Tech at 7:15 on Tuesday. Men's basketball concludes its exhibition action on Wednesday when they host Louisiana College at 7 o'clock. The Tigers then open the regular season next weekend when they take on Nicholls State on Friday at 7 and UL Monroe next Sunday at 3 p.m. All fans can show their football.
All right, Reese, thanks very much. We are ticking down toward halftime here with LSU facing a punting situation and Alabama with a chance to get the ball back. They have no timeouts remaining when they do get it back, but still plenty of time with 1:31 on the clock.
But the real encouraging thing for Alabama is the last 2 times LSU has had the ball, their defense has forced a 3 and out. So they've turned that a little bit.
And they will start from the 35-yard line, 6-yard return after a punt of 40 yards. Well, it looked for all the world like LSU started tonight was going to blow Alabama right out of the state of Louisiana. But you got to hand it to Alabama, particularly after they lost to Mississippi State last week, to be able to look at a 14-0 deficit and say, okay, let's go get them.
Well, I think that was one of the big questions. You know, which Alabama team would we see? Would we see the team that played Mississippi State that way last week, or the team that played good at Florida and at Arkansas and at Tennessee but came up short? I think we're seeing the better Alabama team tonight.
And I think LSU expected this. They thought Alabama would come in here and be playing for its life, and they expected a pretty tough ball game. Gain of 16 on this play gets them into LSU territory.
And I think if there's any one unit for Alabama that has stood out, John Parker Wilson has had a nice first half, but this offensive line for Alabama that was maligned all week after the way they played against Mississippi State has played very well. And remember, they lost Chris Capps to starting right tackle in the first possession. So they've been in there with the backup at right tackle, and they have played very well here in the first half.
John Parker Wilson with a short set, throws complete to DJ Hall.
And that's why you see Alabama attacking right now, because of the confidence they have in their offensive line. But Keith Brown still down.
Boy, and he's in obvious pain. Hall made his 5th catch. He is approaching the 1,000-yard mark. He would only be the 2nd Alabama receiver ever.
DJ Hall makes the catch. Brown is trying to block on Landry and gets rolled up from behind, and he's already nursing that left knee that caused him to miss the better part of 3 ball games. He's in there trying to help his teammate.
Never saw it coming.
He does not look comfortable. And his return tonight, you can already tell the difference it makes in having 2 threats on either side with DJ Hall and Keith Brown.
Well, they're 2 of the best ever to play at Alabama. Brown 8th all-time in receiving yards. DJ Hall comes in 4th all-time in receiving yards. And as I was saying, Hall, as Brown gets up and able to walk off, Hall approaching 1,000 yards, and they've only had one other 1,000-yard receiver in Alabama history, and that was David Palmer, who had exactly 1,000 in a season. The numbers on Hall and Brown, pretty impressive stuff.
Keith Brown 7 career touchdowns, and the average of those almost 42 yards per touchdown catch. I mean, he's the big play threat of that combination.
Under a minute to go. And you're right, that offensive line has just done a superb job tonight in protection. Cadell makes this catch and dragged down by Daniel Francis from behind.
I mean, consider this. This team has given up 20 sacks coming into the night, and LSU 28 sacks by their defense. And John Parker Wilson has had time to do what he wants tonight.
Here comes a blitz, the pass complete and out of bounds to stop the clock at the 22. John Parker Wilson certainly doesn't look like a sophomore. He looks like a seasoned veteran senior quarterback, picking and choosing who he wants to throw to on these last few drives.
Well, Mike Shula told me, he said, you know, you're really going to like my quarterback. I mean, Mike and I have known Mike for a lot of years. He says, you know, I really like him. He's a sophomore, and he's still learning, and he's still making some young mistakes, but he can make all the throws, and we've seen that tonight. He can really throw the football.
Well, he's hitting 70% of his passes right now, 14 out of 20, 187 yards in the first half. Will take 70% under any circumstances, particularly against the, statistically at least, the best defense in the entire country. Castillo apparently not down. Looked for all the world like his knee hit, but he kept going.
Now the clock will stop momentarily while they move the chains. John Parker Wilson has to remember now he has no timeouts. It'll be a 1st and goal inside the 8-yard line, it appears. He's got to get that play called at the line of scrimmage. As soon as they mark it ready to play, he's got to be ready to take the snap and go.
31 seconds remaining on the clock, and the fans really upset about this. And now they'll take a look at it from the replay booth.
Well, because they didn't call him down, they can review.
The previous play is under further review.
If they would have called him down, they wouldn't have been able to review this and possibly change it. Did his knee hit? Excellent effort by Castillo out of the backfield.
Not yet. There it did.
Yep, right there.
For a while, he was on top of middle linebacker Luke Sanders. You're not down till you hit the ground, not another player. But then when he spun, it hit right there. Now, this may take a while. Now, the question would be, did he come down on his shoe or on the ground? That's going to be really tough to say. The whole knee hit his shoe and stayed off the ground because of it. But they're going to have to determine whether that's the case, then where he's down and how much time's on the clock. So you know, talk among yourselves. This may be a while.
Well, and again, just for the process, for understanding this, the process, the call on the field was that he was not down and that he went inside the 10-yard line. The video evidence has to be irrefutable to change that call and to bring it back. And it looked like if they do call him down, it was short of the first down.
It would be 3rd and 2. Mark Frederickson all over this one. The ball would be at the 16-yard line, and it would be 3rd and 2 if he is ruled down at that point.
And then again, the other thing is you have to understand the clock. With 31 seconds right now, and Alabama has no timeouts. They have to be thinking, okay, what are we going to do? If it is 3rd down, do we run a play with the idea that we run our field goal team on to kick if we don't make the first down? A lot of
well, 3rd and 2, you got to make sure, don't you? You got to make sure it's either an incomplete pass or a first down or a touchdown.
Yeah, but you know, you might get a sack too. You know, so that there's ways.
You can't.
Okay. All right, coach. I mean,
hear you. If I'm talking, you're the quarterback, and I'm talking to you, and you say, well, what about if we get a sack? And I'm saying you can't get a sack. Todd, you got to throw the ball away.
Okay.
I don't want to hear this sack stuff.
You're right.
Throw it away.
Throw an uncatchable pass,
That's
right?
That's right.
Yeah. No, you're right. But let's say he slipped when he was coming back.
You can't slip, Todd.
If he slipped, you still would have time to run your field goal unit on.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
If you slip, throw it away on the way down, would you? I'd be one of those coaches with every answer.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
You're not allowed.
Now, this is why the review is taking so long, because they're not looking just at whether he was down. They've got to look at the clock. They've got to look at the spot. This is going to take a while, so don't get upset with it, because this is a great replay system. The fact that they can look at stuff and get it right is what makes this replay system terrific.
Regardless of how this turns out, I think the story of this first half has been the Alabama offensive line and the poise of John Parker Wilson on the road here. Very hostile environment. Alabama's offense has been up for the challenge tonight against the best defense in college football. Number 1 in the country in total defense. Number 3 in scoring defense.
Well, even if you're another player who appreciates the history of college football and you want to face the best and you want to play everywhere, nobody chooses to come in here on a Saturday night and play LSU. But now the crowd must be running low on etouffee because they're really getting upset.
Either that or they want this clock to run out so they can go get some more etouffee in halftime. That might be it too.
Yes. Here we go.
After review, video evidence shows that the runner was down at the 16-yard line. It will be thrown down. With the clock operator, please reset the clock. 38 seconds.
You can't say anything, but that's a nice job of officiating. They got the call right. They get the clock right. They get the mark right. What else do you want?
Right. And as soon as they mark this ready for play, they're going to start the clock rolling. So that's why Alabama is sprinting to the line right now. They know they've got to be set as soon as that referee walks away from the football.
As soon as the umpire steps away, they'll wind the clock. Here we go. Incomplete. Intended for Hall.
Late flag.
McCray was right there. This could be interference or a hold because it looked like McCray was hanging on to the receiver.
Yeah, this flag came in very late, but I think it probably was the right call. McCray is the nickelback. This is he right here, number 44. Working on DJ Hall in the slot, and watch his arms come around Hall.
That's close. That's close.
Well, now here you are again. 32 seconds now for Alabama. No timeout. So John Parker Wilson again can't take that sack. He's got to throw that ball to the end zone.
The single receiver is Stover. John Parker Wilson fumble. LSU football. Daniel Francis came in to knock it out of his hands, and Chase Pittman recovered. Not only can't you take the sack, you got to protect the ball.
Well, Daniel Francis came on the corner blitz, and nobody picked him up. Came right around the edge, and Wilson just careless with the football. When he felt the pressure, he needed to protect the football. It got stripped. Chase Pittman came up with it in the worst possible scenario for Alabama to end the half. Just happened.
Holy cow, what a turnaround. Alabama knocking on the doorstep, a chance to tie the game at halftime. The worst case they could have had is a chip shot field goal. As it ends up, they get nothing out of another terrific offensive drive.
You are killing me, Bergwood.
Hey, take the secret shortcut.
I've never heard of the secret shortcut.
Because it's a secret, Ham. Take it.
Not bad, Bergwood. You ever taken this trail, Bergwood?
Once, including now.
Now would be a good time to have accident forgiveness.
Not too bad.
Or new car replacement. Your choice auto insurance, only from Allstate. Are you in good hands?
Little House on the Prairie. Yes! One more. Go. Another. Go quick, 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 quick. Okay, 3 words, 3 syllables. First word, hook. Hook, yes! Hook, hook, hook. Okay. Go, what else? Hook. Horns. Yes! Hook. Horns. Yes! Hook.
You so got it.
You so got it. Come on.
Come on, man.
No.
Come on.
An insane deer.
Deer? That's not... Wow. There you go.
Paper. Taco meat.
ESPN Shop has authentic gifts for everyone on your holiday roster. From clothes to cleats and everything in between. You want it? We've got it. Purchase a gift card or shop from the comfort of your own home this holiday season at ESPN Shop. Real gear for real fans. Get free shipping on orders over $75. Go to ESPNshop.com, keyword free shipping.
Welcome back to Baton Rouge. 92,400 and a couple of more who snuck in here late. Here's our game track. Jamarcus Russell, almost perfect in the first half. Bo with a touchdown catch. John Parker Wilson, not bad himself, and a great throw to Kenneth Darby for Alabama's first touchdown. Darby coming out of the backfield. The only mistake, this red zone fumble at the end of the first half, as LSU, which has not gotten a whole lot of pressure on Alabama's passing game, came through, knocked it loose, and we have a 21-14 halftime lead, and Alabama will get it first.
And I bet what Mike Shula was telling John Parker Wilson, expect pressure in the second half.
And Alabama will start from its own 26-yard line. Very impressive, I think, for LSU in the first half. I think we both agree they're much better than a 7-2 team, but you have to be impressed with Alabama as well.
Absolutely. I think Alabama responded to the challenge, coming in here against a good football team, playing well on the road. Their offense, up until that last drive where they didn't get points, really an outstanding first half. But I think LSU will turn up the pressure on John Parker Wilson here in the second half. And for Alabama to win the game, I think they have to win the turnover battle in the second half.
Darby starts the second half with a run up across the 30-yard line. We told you coming into this ball game, LSU, #1 in the NCAA, allowing just over 215 yards a game. Tonight they have already given up 247.
And they're getting very close to the most yardage LSU has given up this season. Bo Pelini, defensive coordinator, 288 yards and 17 first downs was the most.
One of the best in the business. We might be seeing him here for the last season. Really hot coaching candidate as this season winds down.
What a nice throw.
And certainly has some Midwestern connections back toward your old stomping ground of Ohio.
Yeah, Youngstown guy.
And there is an opening at Michigan State. And you have to think that he's in a position where he's only going to take a great job offer. He's not going to jump at something, and it's going to have to be right for him to leave. But wherever he has been as a defensive coordinator in college, he has just turned out one great unit after another and deserves a shot as a head coach. A lot of people thought he would get it at Nebraska. And around. Hill.
Well, it's going to come back for an illegal block in the back by Travis McCall, the tight end. Or a holding. I like the aggressiveness, though. Mike Shula has been aggressive in his play calling tonight. He's putting the ball in John Parker Wilson's hands. He's called reverses. He's called throwbacks, onside kicks. He has really opened up the playbook tonight.
Holding. Number 58 on the offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. Replay first down.
Is Kyle Tatum the right tackle? Let's check with Holly.
Well, guys, I spoke with Les Miles of LSU at halftime. He said they've got to eliminate the mistakes they're making on defense. He said we're allowing them to extend their drives, guys. With those extended drives, there's coming all kinds of energy and confidence over on those sidelines for Alabama. So that's the key for Les Miles. He also said expect their offense to be super aggressive. He said we're putting pressure on them by putting points on the board.
All right, thank you, Holly. And Todd, back to your point of Alabama being more aggressive offensively and getting away from that conservative reputation as John Parker Wilson is back to throw. Now he's going to take off. Great move to get free. John Parker Wilson to the 45-yard line. Still about 5 yards shy. The truth is, it's pretty tough for Alabama to come in here and not do that. If they line up man-to-man and say, all right, we're going to play smash bounce with LSU, they're not going to win.
No, you've got to try to keep that defense off balance, which they did a beautiful job in the first half. I mean, they gained a lot of yards, and they scored more points than LSU is accustomed to giving up because they had a lot of balance, and they kept that defense on their heels. The play selection and the offensive balance right there. They didn't run for a lot of yards, but they ran effectively enough to keep that defense honest.
Second, call it 6. John Parker Wilson again, this time knocked away. Good defensive play by Chevis Jackson.
Now, what Mike Shula is going to put in the back of his mind right now is, okay, LSU wants to be aggressive. They're going to squat on those routes. So pretty soon they're going to try to do a little hook and go or something where they bait him into squatting on a route and try to run by him. It may not be on this third down play here, but the next time they get the ball, I wouldn't be surprised to see that.
Cadell and Stover check in as additional wide receivers on 3rd and 6.
Alabama was 2 of 5 on 3rd downs in the first half.
LSU showing that familiar 4-man front, and they come with 4. John Parker Wilson tries to float this one, knocked away at the 45-yard line, intended for Stover, and again it was Chevis Jackson who was right there to get a hand on it. Back-to-back big plays.
Yeah, back-to-back, and you mentioned kind of floated the ball. It looked like he almost wasn't sure where he was throwing this one. Chevis Jackson in good position, the ball hung in the air, and that's a tough one for Stover to come down with. Got to kind of shoot that one in low and away from the defender so the receiver has a chance.
Fitzgerald to punt. Doucette waits at his 20. Doucette, very late fair catch signal, makes it at the 21-yard line. 33-yard kick, no return. Jamarcus Russell will have a chance to run the offense again here in the third quarter, and he's been terrific.
Yeah, you mentioned just about perfect. He was in that first half. 11 of 13. Not much pressure on him. When there was pressure, he did a nice job of stepping away from it, eluding it. And the key to him is he can throw that ball so accurately, whether he's standing in the pocket or moving away from pressure.
Now they've got the little guy in there, Trendon Holiday.
Looked like a pinball.
He's about the size of one.
Man,
I mean, Holiday's 5'5", 159. I mean, how many guys are playing major college football now at 159 pounds?
Well, it's funny because Jimbo Fisher told the story when they were first recruiting him and they had him in camp and Nick Saban was the coach, and Nick Saban didn't like shorter players, didn't like to recruit short players, but he had him run for him. And he said he ran a 4.28 and he didn't even get in a stance. He started in a stand-up position and ran 4.28, and that got Nick Saban's attention in a hurry.
Now back to Hester. And
they were first recruiting him and they had him in camp and Nick Saban was the coach, and Nick Saban didn't like shorter players, didn't like to recruit short players, but he had him run for him. And he said he ran a 4.28 and he didn't even get in a stance. He started in a stand-up position and ran 4.28, and that got Nick Saban's attention in a hurry.
Now back to Hester, and Hester on that inside handoff. Turns the corner, got a couple of good blocks and across midfield. Knocked out of bounds face-to-face with Lionel Mitchell, and they're whooping at each other after a gain of 26. Of course, some nice blocks on the edge.
Yeah, excellent blocking by Saron Black, the left tackle, Herman Johnson, the left guard. Both 70 and 79 did a great job. And then you see the receiver running off the corner because it's man coverage. So once he got to the edge, a lot of green grass in front of Jacob Hester. Blocking at the point of attack, wide out running his man off. Big run for LSU.
Jordan is in at fullback. He's number 40. Guy who rarely touches the ball, basically in there as a blocker whenever he plays. And around to Doucette. Double reverse. And now the big guy goes down all the way back at the 34-yard line on the sack by Matt Collins, a backup linebacker. Everybody touched that one.
Well, they had Jacob Hester open. He was the intended receiver, but Russell wasn't able to get it to him. This was a design trick play, a triple reverse. Hester's going to come out of the backfield. He's going to be the guy that they're looking for. And see, he's open right here.
Oh.
But Jamarcus Russell doesn't have time to get the throw off to him. Good pressure by Alabama, and when they needed a play, that was a huge defensive play for the Crimson Tide.
One thing about trick plays, they can work for huge yardage. They can blow up in your face. That one cost him 17. Russell to Doucette. That was a nice design on that play. They faked the flanker screen and then threw it quickly inside on another screen.
With these quality receivers that they can go to any one of the three, Doucette, Bo, and Davis, they love to run the screens, and they do a great job with it. That was one thing Joe Kynes told us on the phone. He said, man, they do a great job with the screens, and you just have to be prepared for all those inside plays.
Vincent and Hester will be in there together on 3rd and a mile.
That sack was huge.
Four-man rush from Alabama, a little pressure. Here goes Russell.
Wow, what a play by Jamarcus.
Nobody wants to step in front of a 260-pound quarterback when he's got a little momentum going.
He did this last week. He had runs of 34 yards and 25 yards in Knoxville against Tennessee. 3rd and a mile, and Jamarcus says, I'll get it myself.
Wow. Gain of 25. Ran for a career-high 71 yards a week ago. Broussard to the 27. Kid listed at 250. He said the other day he's 236.
It's funny because when the coaches talk about Keelan Williams, they say, well, he's kind of now as a freshman the way Ali Broussard was as a freshman.
Yeah.
You know, and they're hoping that Ali keeps getting better and stronger and more in shape, and by the time bowl season comes around, they'll have a young one and an older one, both powerful backs.
Broussard dragging a couple of tacklers with him down to the 25-yard line. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, guys, we had a chance to talk to Ali Broussard in the parking lot at the football building the other day, and I asked him, I said, you know, the coaches have been talking about you for years about how good you are, but we haven't seen you do that on the field yet. He said, I'm going to. I'm ready. He said the pieces of the puzzle are starting to come together. He's got his weight down. He's saying, and the coaches are saying it's 236, as you mentioned. And he said, my conditioning has finally come back. So he said, get ready. I'm going to start showing you guys something.
It's tough when a kid gets hurt. A lot of them are just not as dedicated as they really have to be at the beginning of the rehab, and they don't realize it sometimes until it's too late. It's taken Broussard a long time to get back. Russell, little hesitation. Quarterback keeper down to the 16-yard line.
Designed quarterback run for Jamarcus Russell. They faked it to Hester. And it caught Joe Kynes' defense unaware. Alabama coming with some pressure. Nobody ready for the quarterback to run. Did a nice job of following the block by 77 Diakowski. And another first down conversion by the running quarterback, Jamarcus Russell.
He'll like that.
I guess he wants us to refer to him as a dual threat quarterback now.
He will like that. Russell back to throw this time. Dumps it off to Hester. To the 5. Touchdown. Yards. Another score.
Well, just what Les Miles told Holly Rowe. We're going to put pressure on them by scoring points. Beautiful drive by LSU.
You know, the other thing about Jamarcus Russell, his arm is so strong. Sometimes when you see a right-handed quarterback roll to his left, there's certain things he can't do. There's nothing he can't do.
Right.
Colt David with a point after. There is a flag down on a play. We'll check the penalty.
I think that's the most amazing thing to me when I watch him throw the football is he is equally good at throwing that ball 40 or 50 yards down the field accurately.
Number 56 of the defense. The penalty is refused. The extra point is good.
And the little feather touch pass like that one was for a touchdown. He is accurate in anything he throws.
He's got it all. So does LSU.
If it's played on a campus, it's on ESPNU.
Over the shoulder goal! Wow!
The best college sports action all year long.
Wisconsin wins!
Oregon State brings a national championship.
Here's what's playing tomorrow night. Hit the hardwood for basketball action. First at 7, Sacred Heart takes on North Carolina. At 11, Stanford meets San Jose State. ESPNU, always in season.
When you've got a...
If you owe over $10,000 to the IRS or state, call American Tax Relief for a free consultation. We've helped thousands of Americans settle their tax debt for a fraction of what they owed.
Once we hired American Tax Relief, the IRS stopped contacting us. That was an immediate relief.
And they settled our tax debt for a fraction of what we owed.
If you owe over $10,000 to the IRS or state, we can help you settle for less, maybe a lot less.
Call 800-406-8044 now and settle for less.
Maya, like many people, has too much credit card debt. How about you? Do you have $5, $10, $15, or even $25,000 or more in credit card debt? I'm Todd Cook, founder of 800 Credit Card Debt. We'll help you find a payoff plan you can live with. One that could work with your creditors to eliminate penalties, lower your interest rates, and even reduce what you owe. Call us, because you can pay off your credit cards and still have money left over each month.
Call 1-800-745-1623.
Saturday night in Baton Rouge, Tiger Stadium, another sellout crowd. Boy, they've seen a good one, too. Their number 12 Tigers, who are 15-2-1, or excuse me, Alabama has come in here 15-2-1 since 1970 and have racked up 274 yards tonight against the nation's #1 defense. But LSU has scored on 4 long drives. Hesitation, and now Alabama will have to bring it out, and it's Arenas. Stop shy of the 20 and a marker down on the play as well. Well, those guys have to know where they are at every time, at all times. You back up a couple of steps near in the end zone. Got to do it one way or another. Come out or don't. In between, you get killed. And this will back them up even further.
Go back to the LSU touchdown. A very well-conceived screen pass. They're going to release the center and the right tackle downfield to block, and then watch Jacob Hester. He's going to come and hit right into the defensive end, Chris Harris, and then release for the screen. Now the key is he's got to stay behind the line of scrimmage. Right there, he is right behind the line of scrimmage. You see the lineman downfield clearing the way. Perfect execution on the middle screen to the tailback for the touchdown. That was an impressive drive for LSU.
LSU has had 4 scoring drives tonight. 68, 73, 78, and 80 yards. That just takes the heart out of a defense. John Parker Wilson on the play fake. Wow. And a perfect strike downfield, and it's caught by Oakley, 23 yards.
And again, how about the protection now? This was a 2-man route. They kept both backs in. All right, so it's kind of an 8-man protection, but plenty of time for John Parker Wilson to make this throw to the sideline.
13th catch all year for Oakley. And those backup receivers, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th guys have to step up if you're going to throw more, and they have tonight. And Wilson with some pretty good numbers. Tried on the ground this time with Darby, and he's stuffed by Ali Highsmith. Check in with Holly.
Well, guys, just before the half, wide receiver for Alabama, Keith Brown, was re-injured on a play. I can tell you he has not come back out of the locker room since halftime. Alabama does not release injury updates, but, guys, he hasn't even hit the field. That puts a lot of pressure on this receiving corps to step up. His return was a big boost for them in the first half. Other guys are going to have to do that tonight. Will Oakley with a nice catch there to make that statement.
You bet, Holly.
The other guy we haven't seen in a long time, Derry Beckwith, the outstanding linebacker for LSU, injured early in the game as well.
Darby high-stepping his way across the 40, and we understand Beckwith will not come back in this ball game. Landry makes the tackle, the All-American candidate whose name we haven't called very much tonight.
You know the interesting thing about Kenneth Darby, and I covered the SEC for a long time. I thought for the last 2 years, prior to this year, he was the most underrated player in the SEC. I thought he was a great tailback. Alabama is 10-2 in games that he's gained over 100 yards, and the 2 losses were both against LSU. The last 2 years, he's gained 100 yards, but they've lost both games. LSU has now won 3 in a row in this series. But Kenneth Darby, he's not had the kind of numbers this year that he had as a sophomore or junior, but when he's healthy, he is an excellent back.
Only Sean Alexander and Bobby Humphrey ever gained more yards as a running back in an Alabama uniform. If he gets 1,000 yards this year, it'll be 3 in a row. None of them did that. John Parker Wilson steps up and throws complete to Hill. Somehow, the quarterback kept it alive long enough to find that kid.
We are seeing a quarterback come of age tonight. I'm going to tell you that right now. John Parker Wilson is feeling it. He is coming of age. When you get to the point where you feel the rush and don't have to look at it, you feel it and keep your eyes downfield and see the coverage, you are coming of age as a quarterback. A young quarterback who's nervous, he's going to look at the rush and not be able to see downfield. Right now, John Parker Wilson is feeling what's going on, and he's playing a beautiful football game.
DJ Hall, 6 catches, 130 yards. Last week, he had 10 for 125, so he is just scorching people. Darby, nowhere to go. Ryan Willis, number 52, got the big lick in.
You know, you mentioned LaRon Landry earlier. The other guy that we're missing that didn't play at all tonight, Jesse Daniels, their other outstanding safety, is out with a hamstring injury. He had a sore knee going into last week's game against Tennessee, and he played, and then he aggravated his hamstring, so they're giving him the night off. Gave him the week off of practice, but He's one of the key leaders of this defense as well. Those two safeties have played a lot of ball together for LSU.
And Craig Stelz, number 16, got to start tonight in that other safety spot. John Parker Wilson throws too high this time. He intended for Oakley, but he was well covered. Zenon on the play, number 19, defensively for LSU. Big 3rd and 9 here for Alabama.
You got to think Keith Brown is the go-to guy in this Alabama offense right now. He's in the inside right here.
John Parker Wilson hit as he throws, intercepted, picked off by Jackson. Shevis Jackson on the tip. And John Parker Wilson under pressure from behind.
And DJ Hall was open, running right to the end zone, but he was hit as he threw the football. I don't know if he was throwing that to DJ Hall or not.
LaRon Landry putting on the pressure. When we come back, we'll tell you about one of the great streaks in the history of college football.
Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. Ohio State and Michigan is getting closer and closer and closer. Tom Luganville and Mike Hall here. It's such a great game, Tommy. Break it down. Give me a key for each team.
Well, for Michigan, in my mind, I really believe that they've got to come up with some plan to pressure Troy Smith into poor decisions in the passing game. It's something that nobody's been able to come up with a recipe for to this point, and that will be critical to the success of the Michigan Wolverines. On the Ohio State side, I really believe that if they struggle to stop the run and their front seven and Quinn Pitcock and David Patterson don't stop Grady Hart, Brandon Minor, could be a long day for the Ohio State defense. They do not want to be on the field for the majority of the game.
Should be a fun game. Can't wait to hear Brent Musburger say you're looking live at Columbus, Ohio, the Horseshoe. Ohio State and Michigan, 1 and 2 on ABC this Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central.
No curb appeal. Hate the color. Oh, honey, this is it.
What you got there is an infestation.
A lot of life happens in your car. Conoco, Phillips 66 and 76 quality ProClean gasolines help clean your engine as you drive.
The pink wasn't so bad.
So you can focus on more important things. Conoco, Phillips 66 and 76. Life happens between empty and full.
ESPN's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard. And Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Back at the state capital of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, the Crimson Tide led the NCAA coming into this ball game. 1.3 plus turnover margin a game tonight. They are -2. And Hester retreating. They'll lose a couple, taken down at the 5-yard line.
Let's go back to this critical interception by John Parker Wilson. This is DJ Hall. And he was trying to throw this ball to DJ Hall in the end zone, but before he could make the throw, LaRon Landry is going to come on a blitz, and he's going to hit John Parker Wilson as he's getting ready to throw. We talked about the red zone. Everything happens faster. He's just got to get rid of that ball a little sooner. He was not throwing it inside to Oakley, but when he got hit, the ball got knocked back inside. He had Hall for the touchdown, just didn't pull the trigger quite quick enough.
Keelan Williams is back in as the tailback. He sets up shop in the end zone. And Russell with a very dangerous pass this time, caught by Bo, but that ball was in the air for a long time. Let's check in with Reese. tell you what, Reese, special teams can be just such a nightmare.
A friend of mine's son is the quarterback for Kansas State, Josh Freeman. I haven't seen him play yet, but he must be playing pretty well tonight against Texas.
Must be doing pretty well. Four-man rush. Pretty good protection. Now Russell will take off again. Got to the 21-yard line. He'll be short by about 1.5 yards. Brought down by Jones and Castile.
Big stop. Big stop. Big play on first down to get the loss of yardage to put him into a longer situation. And then a big 3 and out by the Alabama defense after the interception by their quarterback. Really, the Alabama defense, they've got to do their part. They've got to force that ball loose a little bit. Third 3 and out in the last 4 drives. Unfortunately, that 4th drive was the touchdown drive the last time LSU had the ball.
Arenas is deep. Takes it at the 41 and goes down immediately. Outstanding coverage to set quickly downfield and made the stop. When we come back, we'll tell you about a great streak in college football after we check out the penalty flag.
It's an unsportsmanlike conduct signal against LSU.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 16 on the kicking team. 15 yards to the end of the run. First down.
15 yards. We'll talk about that streak when we come back. I promise.
Why strain yourself with exercises like these when you can get results like this? Why look like this when you can look like this? The most effective waist trimming machine on the planet just got even better, and you'll never have to get on the floor again. Introducing John Abdo's Abdur Extreme program that offers you an ironclad promise that you'll lose at least 3 inches off your waist and at least 10 pounds in 30 days or less.
It makes me feel good.
The totally redesigned Abdur Extreme
Comes fully assembled right out of the box. All you have to do is just slip on the armbar. You gotta love that.
The Abdur Extreme is easy and works fast. It targets all 4 sides of your waist at the same time, working your entire midsection, including your core and love handles, and strengthening your back to give you incredibly fast results.
I lost 11 pounds, 18 pounds, 17 pounds, 7 inches, 14 pounds, 3 inches, 13 pounds.
The Abdur Extreme comes with 3 routines: the fat burner, 6-pack attack, and a special back and spinal conditioning routine. Plus, your 30-day Extreme Challenge guidebook with helpful eating suggestions and exclusive online access to the Abdur website where John coaches you for extreme results. This is a no-risk offer. We're so confident we're willing to let you try it in your home for 30 days free. Even the shipping is free. You've got nothing to lose. This is easily affordable for everyone. And don't forget to ask how you can get the triple-headed back massager, a $55 value absolutely free. This is our best deal ever.
Anytime you do anything to improve your health and appearance, you know you're doing the right thing, the smart thing. So do this for yourself right now. Don't hesitate any longer. Don't sit around and think about it. Otherwise, you may not ever do it. Millions of people around the world can't be wrong. Become a doer today and call now.
Some of you may find it helpful to gaze upon the model
with .com names for just $1.99.
but actually more as a female nude. You'll begin to see that,
And expert personal service.
Look at that. Oh, you've done it.
GoDaddy makes your web presence
immortal.
A masterpiece. Just go to www.godaddy.com/TV.
Steve
Smith and the Carolina Panthers won 4 in a row and had their sights set on the NFC South lead. But after 2 straight setbacks, the Panthers must bounce back. There's no margin of error left for Joey Galloway, John Gruden, and the Bucks. Tampa Bay at Carolina at 8:30 Eastern on ESPN's Monday Night Football.
Baton Rouge on a Saturday night, there's nothing like it, and right now Alabama needs a drive. They'll start after the penalty from the 45-yard line. John Parker Wilson has that one tipped at the line of scrimmage. And let's go to Holly.
Well, guys, there's a very special Crimson Tide fan here tonight. Mr. Dick Coffey is witnessing his 698th consecutive Alabama game. Guys, that's a streak that started in 1946. I asked, why does he go to the games? Why is it so important for him to have that kind of a streak? And he said, well, they only play 12 or 13 times a year. I just don't want to miss any of them.
Nothing all that deep and philosophical. Just they only play 12, 13 times. Let's go to the game. There's a guy you really refer to as Mr. Coffee.
Wilson's pass is complete. 122.
Well, Alabama tonight has moved the football, and that's not really been their problem this year, but scoring has been the problem. First 3 drives, a couple of touchdowns. Last 5 drives, no points and a couple of turnovers deep in the red zone. A fumble right before the end of the half, and then the interception on their last drive. They've moved the ball in LSU territory. They just haven't been able to capitalize.
T.J. Hall with 152 yards tonight, 1 yard shy of 1,000. For the season, he would only be the 2nd ever Alabama receiver over 1,000. If he gets 2 yards, he'll break David Palmer's school record. And that is going to be the end of the 3rd quarter here at LSU. The Crimson Tide down by 14, but they have the ball and they're driving.
Happy? She isn't. Maya, like many people, has too much credit card debt. How about you? Do you have $5, $10, $15, or even $25,000 or more in credit card debt? Are your creditors harassing you at all hours? Are you tired of going through life feeling like Maya? I'm Todd Cook, founder of 800 Credit Card Debt. Day in and day out, we help people just like Maya. Regular people who got in over their heads in credit card debt and want their lives back on track. At 800 Credit Card Debt, we'll help you find a payoff plan you can live with. One that could work with your creditors to eliminate penalties, lower your interest rates, and even reduce what you owe. Don't let the word bankruptcy enter your thoughts. Call us, because you can pay off your credit cards and still have money left over each month. And the best part is, you'll feel like yourself again. Maya did. Make the call today.
Get rid of your credit card debt once and for all. Call 1-800-816-0697.
You're watching ESPN's College Football Primetime with Alabama taking on LSU from Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Due to time constraints, we move ahead in our coverage. Darby on the toss. Nowhere to go. Tried to catch him napping and it didn't work.
Well, there was some confusion for LSU early in that situation, but it wasn't a quick snap count, and they were able to kind of get settled in and make the play against the run. There was some movement, some uncertainty early in that situation, but Alabama got nothing out of the run.
Crimson Tide racking up the yards, the most allowed by that LSU defense, but so far only 14 points. They need 2 touchdowns. Is this 4-down territory? And LSU may have called this one. They did. Mike Shula trying to get his team within a touchdown. He'll have a big 3rd down coming up from the 19.
Honey, I think I found the problem.
Want an easy way to keep your engine clean? Use Conoco Phillips 66 and 76 Quality Pro Clean gasolines. They meet the tough top-tier standard developed by BMW, Honda, GM, and Toyota to help keep your engine running its best. Conoco Phillips 66 and 76. Life happens between empty and full.
Get ready for holiday guests with help from the Home Depot. A decorative sconce is a warm welcome to all visitors.
Wow.
You can transform your dining room with a unique paint project and a beautiful chandelier. Or change an entire room with a stunning new area rug.
Nice.
My mom did it.
Get started now at the Home Depot.
I know Bear Bryant made it famous, but no, he didn't look that cute in that hat.
Do you think she knows who Bear Bryant is?
No.
Well, maybe, you know what, I think if you're from the state of Alabama,
well,
it might be
probably
required knowledge.
Yeah. Probably the first thing you see in kindergarten. This is Bear Bryant. And here's your hat.
He knows who Bear Bryant is.
Yes, he does. 3rd and 9. A must-score opportunity for Alabama. Blitz coming. And they got it. Ricky Jean-Francois gets his 2nd sack.
LSU comes with pressure. They fake the safety blitz, but it's Francois who gets free on the inside. It was a short drop by John Parker Wilson and just couldn't unload the football.
And now Christensen will go for the field goal as they're backed up.
I thought LSU got away with a late runoff on the field there. Thought they were going to get an illegal participation.
Wide left.
Missed another one. Oh, boy.
So this drive comes up completely empty. It is still a 14-point lead for LSU. Time will soon become a factor here in Baton Rouge.
Elbow in.
The best coach I ever had was my dad. Practice, practice, practice. He taught me that the fundamentals, together with hard work, make anything possible. And now it's time to teach others what my dad taught me.
Introducing Steve Nash's MVP Basketball, the only DVD program that makes back-to-back MVP Steve Nash your personal coach. You'll learn Steve's fundamental training secrets to give you a competitive edge on the court.
I don't think there's anybody in the NBA that does it any better than Steve Nash.
What an opportunity to have Steve Nash as your child's personal coach.
This program is about the fundamentals of basketball, and Steve Nash knows the fundamentals of basketball.
Order 2-time MVP Steve Nash's MVP Basketball program for the low introductory price of only $29.95. Act now and you'll receive a second DVD, Steve's Team Play and Practice Organization. Perfect for the parent coach, absolutely free. But it's not available in stores, so you must act now.
ESPN's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by the Citi Premier Pass Credit Card. Rewarding. Very, very, very rewarding. And Wrangler. Real. Comfortable. Jeans.
28-14. Yes, it is chilly. Even though it's Louisiana. Got cold tonight, down in the 40s.
Dad's got no part of that blanket either. Mom and daughter. Huddle up on his own.
Allie Broussard is the tailback. Jamarcus Russell with the fake to him. Then goes to Hester out in the flat. And Hester spun out of bounds at the 29. Crown wanted a flag. They do get a flag at the end of the play. That should be 15 yards. Castile made the tackle. Oh, and they're going to call a clip against LSU.
Brett Helms, the center, is the guy who's going to be the guy flagged for the penalty here. Another costly first down penalty for LSU. Sets him back.
Personal foul. Clipping. Number 74 on the offense. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
Here he is right here. Now watch, he's going to get Matt Collins with a block, a clear clip right in the back. 56.
Ooh.
There's the clip.
Ooh.
And a break for the Alabama defense. Sends LSU back inside the 15-yard line.
Alabama very fortunate they weren't flagged at the end of it because there was a late hit out of bounds. Out in the flat, Doucette.
How about
Doucette, just tremendous yardage on that play up to the 28. Let's go to Reese Davis. How about that? Upset Saturday in college football this Saturday. Russell, design quarterback draw. He is not going to get the first down. Needed to reach the 33, just a little bit shy.
Well, certainly when you do a scouting report on LSU, you say, now he'll scramble some if he has to, but he doesn't really want to run. Well, these are designed quarterback runs, so they're great change-up calls by Jimbo Fisher, the offensive coordinator, because you've got a big guy who's hard to tackle, and you know he can throw it, and he's mixing in a few runs as well.
3rd and short. They're only 1 out of 3 tonight in this situation. Broussard, the big tailback. And this is going to be a motion call, I believe, on Broussard or the fullback who moved in front of him.
Prior to the snap. Delay of game. Number 2 on the offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Still 3rd down.
I'm going to call that on Russell. Let's go to Holly.
Well, guys, Jimbo Fisher said that Russell is one of those quarterbacks that maybe people just don't appreciate how good he is. He said there's 2 big misconceptions about Jamarcus Russell. First, his intelligence. He said we ask him to do more at the line than any quarterback we've ever had. Second, his athleticism. Guys, he's showing tonight with some big runs that's a misconception as well.
Sure has.
Holly, you got to love this kid. I mean, he really has wonderful skills. And he knows how to use them. That bullet pass is out of bounds, and LSU will have to give it up. Of course, the quarterback, you know, there's that old saw. He always gets more credit and more blame than he really deserves. But you can't see anything in this kid. You can understand with his skill why he would take chances that would lead to turnovers in tight ball games. I mean, anybody who could do the things he does would take those chances.
Well, but you know, right there, that last play, that's a sign that he's getting them, because he threw that one away and said, look, we have a 2-touchdown lead. Let's not try to force something and put my defense in a bad spot.
He's only thrown 3 incompletions tonight, 16 out of 19, 184 yards. Arenas from the 29. Flag is down on the play as Arenas goes down on the 34. Sammy Joseph made the tackle after a 4-yard return.
So, have you been on a lot of blind dates?
Well, this would make one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Me too. What do you do?
I'm a vet.
I love animals.
Really? Where are you from?
Michigan, born and raised. Go Blue.
Go Buckeyes! Go Buckeyes!
This season, there's only one place to be on game day.
It don't get any better than this.
Saturday mornings, Chris, Lee, and Kirk take you to the biggest games in the country.
Go Trojans!
From the Pac-10 to the Big East and every place in between.
No more cupcakes. Let's play some football.
Exclusives with the top players and coaches. Behind the scenes with the best programs. Tackling the big stories in college football.
This is his team, his time.
ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10 a.m.
Critical drive for Alabama. have to get something going. Darby lost his footing, went down at the 27-yard line after a gain of 3. Alabama's certainly gotten yardage tonight, but yardage only looks good if it doesn't pay off in points.
Got to be able to capitalize at the end. I mean, that last missed field goal is so critical because their defense has gotten a couple stops and they moved the football. They didn't convert on 30. At least have to come away with some points. Nothing to show for it.
Well, they can't think field goal anymore.
Nope.
Darby again gets up to the 30.
Last week against Mississippi State, they did not score an offensive touchdown. They had 4 drives that went inside the 15-yard line and had no offensive touchdown. They had an interception return for a touchdown.
And we have an injured Alabama player, and it's Caldwell.
Alabama star player is shaken up.
Antoine Caldwell was a starter at guard last year as a freshman, and they moved him to center for the Cotton Bowl game against Texas Tech, and felt that that was a really good move, and he's been the starting center all season this year, one of the real leader in that offensive line.
It's really interesting. He's a Remington Award candidate. In the 2-minute drill, he moves to guard, and they bring in another center. And the other center right there is Evan Caldwell, no relation. And we'll take a break here with 9:08 to go in the ballgame. With Louisville's loss Thursday night, a 1-loss team should make the BCS title game. Will that come from the SEC?
From the fields of glory where Saturday afternoon legends are born to the pageantry and passion, it's time for college football. Now you can bring that passion and pride home with Fathead. So put away that foam finger and slap up a Fathead. With schools from all the big-time college football powerhouses, Fathead wall graphics are classic collectibles made for only real fans. It's easy to put up, just peel and place in any home or office. Fathead can take a hit. Printed on strong, durable vinyl, Fathead is the only wall graphic that actually lets you move it over and over again all season long.
Looks like this little fella's ready.
So big and real, you can't find them in a store. There's only one place to get them, fathead.com. Officially licensed by the Collegiate Licensing Company, NASCAR, the NBA, the NFL, and Players Inc. Fathead.com is where you can also find all your favorite players and teams. Call or go online at fathead.com today. Check out our special season pricing and be the ultimate fan of your team. Fathead. Go big. Real big.
You're watching ESPN's College Football Primetime with Alabama taking on LSU from Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Due to time constraints, we move ahead in our coverage. Ali Broussard is the tailback. 1st and 10, just inside the 20. LSU can work on the clock now. Broussard cut down, picks up about 1. Let's go to Holly.
Guys, I overheard an explanation by the officials on that last controversy on 4th down for Alabama. You guys know that receivers are required to point over to the sideline to the official to check and let them know, hey, I'm on the line. They do it every single play. And the official's saying even if he was on the line, he didn't check over to let us know he was supposed to be there. So that's why they're saying he was not.
Okay, Holly, thank you. Don't know that I ever heard that one before. Russell throws. Doucette. Oh, what a nice cut. Early Doucette up to the 28-yard line. His 7th catch tonight. Ramsey Robinson makes the tackle.
He had 8 last week, you know, and he's become a much more viable option as a receiver. 37 catches coming into tonight. Had 5 on the game-winning drive last week. 15-play drive. He had 5 catches, including a 4th and 8 and the game-winning touchdown. 7 for 100 tonight. Now, Jamarcus told us on Friday, too, that he was not throwing to Early Doucette on that last play.
Yeah.
The touchdown was actually intended for Dwayne Bowe, but Early Doucette kind of fell back into it and snatched it.
And it was a brilliant catch. Bowe says he'd have had it. Russell throws against the grain, completes it to Bowe. and Bo out to the 43-yard line. Well, they're not backing off, are they?
No, and this is one of those deals that, you know, you say, just run it. Jamarcus, don't throw this. Don't roll to your left and throw back across the middle off balance. No, don't. You can't do. Well,
nice throw.
I guess you can.
Yeah.
I mean, that ball didn't even wobble. I mean, that just was a shot.
He has an absolutely incredible strength in his arm.
Great hands. I mean, he is so accurate throwing the football in many different positions.
18 out of 21, 206 yards. He has been just superb. Williams barrels up the middle to the 46-yard line.
You know, we talk so much, and granted, I mean, they didn't do what they needed to do to win. But we're talking about all these one-loss teams, and we're talking about Ohio State and Michigan, the big showdown this week.
Right.
What? I mean, LSU's lost 2 games, yes, and they didn't deserve to beat Auburn, and they turned the ball over to lose to Florida.
Right.
But, you know, Ohio State and Michigan are not that much better than this team right here. Now, they don't have 2 losses like this team does, but there's not as much that separates teams in college football as you know, the records might indicate.
And I don't know anybody on the planet that would want to play these guys. This is a heck of a football team. Williams again off the left side, inside the 45 to the 44. Take a look at our All-State ESPNU standings review. I mean, a lot of changes here, Todd.
Yep.
I mean, a lot. Louisville lost on Thursday night.
Yeah, they're going to go
so
way
bye-bye.
Yep.
Florida nearly lost. Texas did lose. Auburn did lose. Cal did lose.
Yep.
And Texas is losing.
USC is
all they
playing.
need is like 30 points in the next 4 minutes, and they're not losing.
USC playing late tonight against Oregon. You know, and right now, the thing you're talking about, too, is style points. You know, how impressive a team does look that wins. I mean, Florida, that certainly wasn't a stylish win for Florida today. Barely beating South Carolina at home. I'll tell you who's looking pretty stylish right now and looking better and better each week is Arkansas. I mean, this is a football team that, you know, I think everybody kind of assumed that it would be Florida and Auburn playing in the SEC championship game, and you know, but Arkansas is a team that you're not going to want to play them at the end of the year either.
But they need some help. Yeah. They really do, because they were so far down. They were so ignored by everybody after the opening loss to Southern Cal in the game we had. It's not only how good you are, but how many teams you have to pass, and there's still too many teams in front of them.
Right. I mean, Florida obviously is probably in the best situation now, you know, to make that jump. I think USC, with what they have coming up on their schedule, is in great position, especially if Texas does go down tonight. But Arkansas is a team that you don't want to mess with them, I don't think.
Broussard fighting. Stays in bounds.
How good will the game be Friday after Thanksgiving in Little Rock between Arkansas and LSU? That'll be a fun one.
Yeah, absolutely. Clock stopped at 3:39. It will. And now there is a timeout. More about those one-loss teams, maybe even the 2-loss teams. One more weekend like this when we come back.
Using only my City Premier Pass credit card, I earn rewards points crazy fast, and I will do it restrained with this restraining device. I start with the points for buying my ticket and Victor's ticket, then earn points for my miles and his. Unbelievable. Using only the City Premier Pass credit card, I rock the house. Big time. Rewarding. Very, very, very rewarding.
Love taking pictures? Ever wonder if you could have your pictures published or win prizes? We can help. We're the New York Institute of Photography, America's oldest photography school. Our unique multimedia home study course will teach you the art and business of photography in your spare time. It's easy, fun, and affordable. Whether you just want to take better pictures or want a new career, NYI can make you a better photographer.
For a free catalog, call 1-800-652-0101.
Saturday, ESPNU brings you a full day of college football. At noon, talented rusher P.J. Hill and number 12, Wisconsin.
Look at this. He's still going.
Take on Buffalo. Then at 7:30.
Braun to the air. Touchdown.
Number 10, Louisville, looks to get back on track against South Florida. The action begins Saturday at noon, exclusively on ESPNU. College football lives here.
Next Saturday, ABC, your home for the most anticipated matchup of the year. Number 2 ranked Michigan against Heisman hopeful Troy Smith and Ohio State. It's a battle of unbeatens. The winner to the BCS championship game. College football presented by Best Buy next Saturday on ABC at 3:30 Eastern. Jamarcus Russell in the shotgun on 3rd and long. Quarterback draw. And Russell's down to the 38-yard line. Needed to reach the 36 for a first down. Let me give a little shout out to Jimbo Fisher, who was the offensive coordinator for LSU. Jimbo and I share a common hometown and a common area, Clarksburg, West Virginia. In fact, he grew up on a farm in Northview, which is very close to where my mom grew up and where my grandparents lived. And his mother, who is 70, still teaches high school in Clarksburg. Going to work every day at Byrd High School. Way to go, Jimbo. He has done a great job, especially developing quarterbacks and big ones. He likes enormous quarterbacks.
I've liked his play calling tonight too. He's really done a nice job, and they've had good balance and a lot of different uses of moving the pocket and moving Jamarcus Russell.
The one-loss teams that are hoping for a shot at a national championship, Texas is going to be gone. They're going to be off that list. So you're going to have
down. They're off.
Louisville's down. You're going to have Florida, USC, Notre Dame, West Virginia, and Arkansas. I think West Virginia's too far down to be a factor. Go you?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think that, you know, for those teams in the Big East, I think it had to be an undefeated Louisville or West Virginia to
Texas,
make a run at it.
Texas, by the way, I'm closing out Mac Brown and the Longhorns a little quickly.
Yeah, they still got
13 and a half minutes to go, and they're down by 14. And LSU is lining up to go for it on 4th and short. And they're going to have the first down at the 35-yard line as Broussard is pushed back.
Just one final thought for me on that, the one-loss thing. Sure. I mean, I really think that even though Florida wasn't impressive today, I think that the strength of the SEC and what everybody has talked about the SEC all season, if Florida finishes with the one loss, which means they go to the SEC championship and beat, you know, let's say Arkansas, who would be a hot team at that time, I think they might have enough to make it into a championship game against the winner of Ohio State, Michigan. Now, USC has some impressive games left on their slate, but I have a feeling a one-loss SEC team might make that move.
Well, the strength of this conference and who they have to face game in and game out would certainly indicate that. Here is Hester all the way down to the 15-yard line.
Own a timeshare, turn it into cash.
Timeshares only got us our full asking price before our next monthly payment was due.
Own a campground membership, turn it into cash.
Timeshares only sold our campground membership fast and for the price we wanted.
Call now and we'll send you absolutely free this information kit, including 10 secrets to buying, selling, and renting timeshares. Timeshares Only is the nation's largest #1 most successful timeshare agency.
We represent properties from the biggest names in the timeshare industry.
When it comes to selling, renting, or buying timeshares, no one comes close to Timeshares Only.
With over $2 billion of timeshares sold in the last 6 months, now's the perfect time to sell, rent, or buy. And no one sells more timeshares than we do.
You owe it to yourself to work with the best. Timeshares Only, the most trusted name in timeshares.
Call 800-789-2441 to sell, rent, or buy your timeshare and get your free information kit. Don't delay. Call 800-789-2441.
Clock running, 2:08. SportsCenter follows our broadcast, and this is going to be the 11th play of this drive. LSU in no hurry to snap the ball, and rushing, they've hit 200 yards tonight.
Loss here for Alabama will drop them to 6-5. They'll have the Iron Bowl next week against Auburn in Tuscaloosa.
Hester, nice cutback inside the 10 down to the 9. Let's take a look tonight's sharp Oculus image of the game. And the big quarterback, Russell, to his great receiver, Dwayne Bowe. Perfect strike in the corner of the end zone. Russell being chased to his left, able to throw that way and throw a strike.
I actually think when he's flushed out of the pocket, I think he throws better moving to his left than he does to his right. I mean, normally a right-handed quarterback throws a little bit better going to his right, but I think in Jamarcus's case, he's a little more accurate and dangerous moving to his left.
Hester will get near the 5. They needed to reach the 5-yard line for a first down. But now pushing and shoving after the play will stop the clock with, or not stop the clock. I thought the officials had blown it dead.
LSU with Les Miles will move to 19-4 in his tenure here at LSU. Of course, navigated this team through all kind of distractions and uncertainties last year with the Hurricanes, and finished with a big bowl win against Miami in the Peach Bowl last year. And the 2 losses this year, but tell you what, he's settling into the job here fairly nicely.
LSU will call a timeout on 4th and 1.
He's got some interest in that game next weekend. Former Michigan football player, Les Miles.
And anybody with a Michigan or Ohio State background, they're not shy about giving their opinion, are they?
Bo Pelini, defensive coordinator, a former Ohio State football player.
Here's what Les Miles had to tell us about that ball game.
As soon as you crossed the border to play at Michigan, you were Michigan. You were never, ever an Ohio State. You were from Ohio, but you were a Michigan man.
Les grew up in Ohio, but played and coached at the University of Michigan. Accepting congratulations right now with 3 seconds to go. LSU is an impressive football team. It's going to take them to 8-2.
Play Ole Miss next, and then again the Friday after Thanksgiving in Little Rock against the Arkansas Razorbacks.
And hats off to Arkansas. What a tremendous performance they've turned in since that opening night loss. Broussard at tailback, and it looks like Russell was changing the play. And Broussard will take it to the 4, and that's it.
Broussard carry.
Congratulations to LSU in front of the second largest crowd they have ever had at Tiger Stadium. They have an impressive win over Alabama, 28-14. Sports Center is coming up next over on ESPN News, the post-game extra. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Bo Garrett, our producer, Scott Johnson, our director, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe, and our entire hardworking ESPN crew, I'm Mike Patrick. Good night from Baton Rouge.
They simply call it the walk in Blacksburg, Virginia. The Corps Cadet Band leads the Hokies on the march to Lane Stadium. Another exciting Saturday for Virginia Tech as they take on Kent State from the MAC. Live Live from Lane Stadium on the campus of Virginia Tech University, the 20th ranked Hokies, one of the hottest teams in the country, taking on the Golden Flashes of Kent State, one of the great turnaround stories in all of college football. A year ago, 1-10. This season, the Golden Flashes 5-4. Hi, everybody. I'm Doug Bell. Welcome to Blacksburg on a glorious Saturday afternoon. This place is electric, and for good reason. Their football team is back after that meltdown a month ago on national TV, ESPN against Boston College. They're playing great football. Let's bring in my partner, Mike Tomczak. The defense is terrific. The offense, Mike, getting better.
Well, they're getting better because of one reason. Number 28, Brandon Orr. He's made everyone more confident in the running game. The offensive line has matured. And last week against Miami, he got it done because he has tremendous vision. The balance is exceptional. But the explosion that he gets, the more carries that he gets during the course of the game, the stronger he gets. And he's your bell cow. Follow 28 around if you're Kent State, if you want to make a difference today.
So we'll talk about his story. He's come back from physical injury and really an attitude adjustment. Brandon Orr, almost a microcosm of what this team has undergone the last 4 weeks. Big-time talent. Julius Edelman, also a talent for Kent State, but unfortunately their quarterback will not play today due to injury, so Michael Matchin steps in.
We see what Edelman's done there, close to 2,000 yards of production on offense. He's going to be sorely missed today. The Kent State Golden Flash are going to go with Michael Matchin, the quarterback, 6'6". He's a rifleman. If Kent State's going to have any success today, it's going to have to throw the football downfield against the #1 pass defense in America.
He's going to be tested. He does have a terrific arm. He played minor league baseball, but you're right, Mike. He will be tested against the Hokies defense. Again, they boast one of the top units in the United States. It's kickoff coming up. The MAC against the ACC, the Hokies, and the Golden Flashes.
A day in my life is far from typical. I may be at a photo shoot, on tour, on a movie set, or just hanging out with my friends. I never know what's gonna happen next, but the one thing I do know, I start my day and end my day with Proactive Solution.
Proactive Solution, named Best Acne Treatment by Allure Magazine. Developed by 2 dermatologists, Proactive is a 3-step acne-fighting system that clears acne and helps prevent future breakouts.
I used to suffer from a skin problem, and believe me, everybody noticed, and I was embarrassed. And then a friend introduced me to Proactive Solution. I have to tell you, my skin completely cleared up, and I never, ever worry about breakouts anymore.
Now's your chance to try Proactive for just $19.95. Proactive is not only powerful enough to fight acne, but it's also gentle, so it leaves your skin looking fresh, glowing, and beautiful.
I use Proactive every day, every morning, every evening. I wouldn't even think of not using it.
Order now and you'll also receive free the amazing refining mask, which works overnight to help shrink blemishes and reduce redness.
Why make things harder than they need to be? Problem? Acne. Solution? Proactive. It's that simple.
Proactive comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee, backed by trusted Guthrie Renker. Order now and get priority mail shipping at no extra charge.
So whether I'm facing a million fans or shooting a music video, one thing is always clear. My skin.
Call 1-800-664-8600.
Are you ready to have clear, gorgeous skin and feel more confident about your looks? Try Proactive. Just try it and say goodbye to blemishes.
ESPNU College Football is presented by Allstate. Are you in good hands? A beautiful look at the campus here in Blacksburg. It is absolutely gorgeous, and that Hokie stone is on most of the buildings. And I've fallen in love with the place here the last couple of days. Doug Bell and Mike Tomczak excited about today's game. The Hokies are back. We watched that game against Boston College about 1 month ago, and it was ugly, but they're back in a big way, and so is Kent State. Doug Martin, his 3rd year, went to the University of Kentucky, where he's an old quarterback. Longtime offensive coordinator at East Carolina, has done a nice job at Kent State. And Frank Beamer, what can you say? 20 years on the job at his alma mater. They retired his jersey, number 25. It's here flying high above the stadium. Kent State won the opening coin flip, and they deferred to the second half, so they will kick off. And Virginia Tech will be on the attack first. Deep for the Hokies. Eddie Royal is back, a dangerous return man. A short kick away from Royal. Breaking it free on the outside is Josh Morgan. Flag down on the play, and he's pushed out of bounds around the 34-yard line. Short kick. Our referee today is Scott McElwee. And you might remember his dad, Bob. Mike Tomczak certainly does. Bob was a long-time NFL referee. And that'll go against the Hokies.
During the return, block in the back. Number 35 of the receiving team. 10 yards from the end of the run. First down.
So for the Hokies, Sean Glennon, the redshirt sophomore. And slowly but surely, Mike, as we mentioned off the top, this young man is getting better. As Frank Beamer told us last week, he really needs just one more second, and he could be making some really big plays.
Not only one more second, but they asked him to do a lot early part of the season. They got balance back in their offense, and he's become extremely productive.
Here it is, the play action fake to the outside. Eddie Royal cuts back, now stretching for that first down marker, and I think he got it. That surprised Kent State, because normally Virginia Tech goes to the ground early and often up front. Brandon Fry, the big man, is out today with that high ankle sprain. He'll be replaced by Nick Marshman. Then you have Gore McGrath, Render, and Dwayne Brown. We'll talk about Dwayne, a young man who they say almost too quick to be an offensive tackle. Brandon Orr, the big gun in the backfield. Alan Royal caught that first pass. Morgan and Boone. Boy, this is a young Virginia Tech football team. The future looks so bright. In fact, this year they could wind up with 10 wins if things go their way. There's Orr over the left side. Boy, that's a nice gain over the left side. Solid 5 yards just like that. Defensively up front for the Golden Flashes, you see Hogan, who makes a lot of tackles, only a freshman. Brown, Farrell, and Daniel Muir. They're undersized, but they're very active. Maxwell, Moss, and Kantz are the linebackers. And in the secondary, Young, Kirkland, Jaquez, and Williams. Jaquez, a junior, makes some big plays for Kent State, who is very good defensively. Second down and 5. Again over the left side. Daniel Muir makes the stop for Kent State, a senior. There you see Brandon Orr, redshirt sophomore, and Mike Tomczak. So many redshirts in this Virginia Tech team. I mean, the future, wow.
Well, the future is bright, and Brandon Orr only a sophomore. They have a couple young freshmen that are behind him, but he's the guy that's going to make things happen. There's a great trust factor between the 5 guys up front, the tight end, and number 28, Brandon Orr, who trusts everything in front of him.
Sean Glennon from the gun on 3rd and 3. Glennon, a big kid at 6'4", over the middle, in and out of the hands of Greg Boone. Boone, a young man who came to Virginia Tech as a quarterback, is now a converted tight end, a sure-handed guy, but he dropped that one.
Well, it's a high percentage pass on 3rd and short. You know, these are manageable areas for the offense. Sean Glennon just needs somebody to make a catch for him to continue the drives. Obviously, Boone dropped that one. That should have been a catch, but another opportunity for Kent State to capitalize on a 4th down situation.
John Drager, 22, back for Kent State, and Nick Schmidt will punt it away for the Hokies. Left-footed punter. A low liner that Drager fields at the 23. He's brought down quickly, but nice field position up around the 28 for Kent State. Orion Martin hustled down there for Virginia Tech. That was a 36-yard punt. There's Michael Matchin, a young man from Mobile, Alabama, actually signed with the University of Alabama out of high school, McGill-Tulane High School down in South Alabama. Redshirted his first year, played some baseball at Alabama, then left, went to Coffeyville Community College in Kansas, and had a nice year last season at Kent. Eugene Jarvis goes nowhere for Kent State. Their offensive line, Parrish, McGraw, Perry, Rafdahl, and Marifine. And Augusta Parrish, a young man, only a sophomore, but his coaches feel he has NFL potential. 6'7", 315 pounds. Jarvis on the first carry Very small but quick. They list him at 5'5". That may be a stretch. Rogers, Bays, Garner, and Sitko are your backs and receivers. And there's a good look at Michael Matchin. 2nd and 11. Lane Stadium is rocking early. The crowd making some noise. Here's the quick feet by Eugene Jarvis. Carlton Powell on the stop for the Hokies. Up front, you see Carlton and Chris Ellis, Barry Booker, Burchett. Very active. They make a lot of plays. Those inside backers, you see Hall and Rouse on the outside, but DB and Hill, very, very good. In fact, we had fun talking to Bud Foster yesterday. In the backfield, it's Flowers, Parker, and the Macho Man, Victor Harris. 3rd down and 10. There you see a DB. Xavier DB, he and Vince Hall. Maybe the best inside tandem Bud Foster's ever had. That's a lot. That's coming from the coach. That went nowhere. Eugene Jarvis. Darren Rogers stepped back there from his H-back role, and he got brought down quickly by Aaron Rouse. Rouse is a young man, a senior, who's had a so-so year, but physically, Mike, what a talent.
He certainly is. He's starting to find his game right now, latter part of the season. It's good to see this senior go out in style.
Jake Kilroy will punt it away, a high punt. Eddie Royal has to go backwards over his shoulder at the 23, looking for that wall. And he's pulled out of bounds at the 32. That was a nice punt, a 46-yard punt. Usama Young grabbed around the jersey and pulled him out of bounds. Virginia Tech will get the ball for the 2nd time. No score in Blacksburg on a beautiful afternoon for football.
Michigan and Ohio State is a big game in and of itself. But Tom Luganville, when you add on that it's 1 versus 2, and you add on that it's a season finale for both teams, it doesn't get any bigger than this. So with everything you've seen and everything you've studied, who wins this mammoth game?
The Ohio State Buckeyes. Barring any unforeseen mishaps, I just believe Ohio State has too many playmakers, too many guys offensively that can create big plays in a hurry, and a quarterback in Troy Smith that can beat you with his arm as well as his legs. Defensively, they are bend but don't break defense. The #1 ranked scoring defense. That's the statistic that I really believe only matters defensively. That will get them over the hump. They're playing at home. Ohio State has a season of destiny, I believe, and they will be on their way to Glendale after winning this game.
You want to make it even bigger. That's what you said. The winner will go to the BCS National Championship game, so you can't miss this game, 1 versus 2 on ABC this Saturday, 3:30 Eastern Time, 2:30 Central.
No curb appeal. Hate the color.
Oh, honey, this is it.
What you got there is an infestation.
A lot of life happens in your car. Conoco, Phillips 66 and 76 quality Pro Clean gasolines help clean your engine as you drive.
The paint wasn't so bad.
So you can focus on more important things. Conoco, Phillips 66 and 76. Life happens between empty and full.
You are killing me, Bergwood.
Hey, take the secret shortcut.
I've never heard of the secret shortcut.
Because it's a secret, Ham. Take it.
Not bad, Bergwood. You ever taken this trail, Bergwood?
Once, including now.
Now would be a good time to have accident forgiveness.
It's not too bad.
Or new car replacement. Your choice auto insurance, only from Allstate. Are you in good hands?
Have you ever wanted to develop your artistic abilities? If so, you may already have the interest and desire needed to become a serious art student. To find out, simply call toll-free, and Art Instruction Schools will send you this enjoyable art test. Since 1914, we've helped thousands of aspiring artists become more skilled, more confident, and more creative in their art. Call today for your free art test. We'll help you become a better artist.
Call 1-800-652-0101.
The tailgaters in Blacksburg were having a field day. You see the sun just blanketing that side of Lane Stadium. Kent State and Virginia Tech have met before. The series is tied at 1. Last meeting back in 1976. Frank Beamer was coaching at the Citadel then. And it's tied 1-1. Kent State has not had a lot of success playing football over the years. Brandon Orr going nowhere. Andre Kirkland coming up. There you see number 27, the leading tackler on this defense, Mike. Usually when a strong safety is the leading tackler, that's not a good thing.
Well, unless he plays inside the box, and that's what Kirkland's been doing throughout this year. The big turnaround, they're 8th in the country in pass defense, but Kirkland, who's the bell cow on defense, he sets the tone for everyone. And Kent State right now is starting to put 8 guys towards the line of scrimmage to make it one-dimensional in this game today offensively.
2nd and 11, Sean Glennon with lots of time. Has his man Royal. Picks up 9. Boy, he rifled that ball. Showing off a good arm.
He certainly did. He had a lot of time in the pocket. You know, go to 1, 2, 3. Let's go back to 1. And here comes Eddie Royal on an inside 10-yard inside dig route, they call it. But a nice throw and completion. I thought Kent State had an opportunity to jump on that ball because he was staring it down pretty consistently, waiting back there in the pocket.
3rd down and 1. Orr lines up right behind Sean Glennon. And that massive offensive line. Kent State undersized along the defensive front. Orr breaks it to the outside. Quick feet. In Kent State territory, out of bounds around the 47, 13-yard pickup.
Well, defensive coordinator for Kent State, Pete Restis, told us that he wants to contain everything, keep everything inside the perimeters, off the edges. And right there, they sustained everything, but they didn't get any penetration up the left side. And Brandon Orr, we talked about it in the open, he has tremendous vision, and the explosion to the outside allows him to get a first down.
It's 1st and 10 from the 47. Carlton Weatherford in there at fullback. Glennon dodges the first oncoming rusher. Shot it outside to Sam Wheeler. Incomplete. Glennon at 6'4" is the tallest quarterback at Virginia Tech since Jim Druckenmiller. He sees over the line, Mike.
Well, he's going to need a lot of size in that pocket if they're not going to get the protection like that. That's one thing that Coach Beamer alluded to yesterday in our meetings. If they had more time last week, they might have had more play production. And that was a prime example of pressure gets to Virginia Tech.
2nd and 10. Weatherford again there at fullback. And Orr going behind his big fullback. Runs right up the middle. Andre Kirkland is there again for Kent State. And Fritz Jacquez came up as well. And Kirkland and Jacquez are the safety men, so Mike, they're up in the box, aren't they?
They get a lot of safety support. They read their keys very well. And again, defensively, if they win on 1st down, Doug, they're going to have a pretty good chance of getting off the field in 3 downs. Obviously, 3rd and 10 and very manageable for Kent State's defense. They have to come up with a stop here, or at least to nullify the tackle or nullify the catch and make a tackle before the 1st down.
Glennon on 3rd and 10. He's had time, and that's, he had to hurry a bit with pressure. Josh Hyman was there, and they almost connected, and Glennon has to peel himself off the turf. He took a shot.
Well, Coach Doug Martin, the head coach at Kent State, watched that Miami film last week when Virginia Tech had problems in the pocket and protection. You see 2 off the left side, puts pressure. Rico Murray does a nice job getting in the face of Glennon. Quarterbacks do not like people around their face. They'll have a tendency to throw the ball high or pull the string. Nice job by Kent State defensively.
Nick Schmidt, his 2nd punt. He's been busy. Punts this one into the end zone, so Kent State will take over at the 20, a 47-yard boot. This is not exactly what Virginia Tech was hoping to do. They wanted to jump on them early and maybe get some of the starters out early. But it's been, hey, credit Kent State.
Yeah, credit Kent State. I mean, obviously, they're continue bringing pressure against Virginia Tech's offense. If they can't protect, you'll see that blitz come more consistently from the guys in the white jerseys. But offensively, they need production. They got to have some simulation of a running game. And Virginia Tech, there's very little room to run between those hash marks. But they have to manufacture something positive on 1st down.
1st and 10, Michael Matchin. The number 2 quarterback, again, the starter, Julian Edelman, not playing today. Sprained shoulder, bruised sternum. He's banged up. Wide open is the tight end, Tom Sitko. And that's a 1st down for the Golden Flashes, a 15-yard pickup. Aaron Rouse, another tackle for the Hokies. Middle of the field, wide open, Mike.
Well, that production on 1st down, like we just talked about, you give a little play action fake inside to your running back, Jarvis. And watch number 9, Vince Hall, on your left-hand side of your picture. If you could fool him just for half a second, there he is, getting lost in coverage. He's trying to find a ball carrier. Nice design play, even better executed by Sitko and Matchin, the quarterback.
So 1st and 10 for Kent State. At the 35, Matchin stands 6'6". He towers over his offensive line. And Virginia Tech is showing, here comes blitz. Matchin got a little nervous, coughed it up, and Virginia Tech hops on it. Hokies football. Vince Hall comes up with a loose one. And Michael Matchin looked a little nervous.
Well, he certainly did, and that's the most fundamental thing is the center quarterback exchange. And turnovers have come in bunches for Virginia Tech. Vince Hall, last play, wasn't in the right spot. This time he's on the spot with the fumble recovery. Tremendous field position for the Hokies. Let's see if they can capitalize on a 1st down play. Usually offenses like to take a shot as soon as something happens in the transition area. And Coach Martin's not too happy there.
1st and 10 for the Hokies from the 35. The ball landed right on the line of scrimmage. Orr goes to the right. Kent State is pushing him out of bounds. Picks up a couple of yards. Kevin Hogan was right there along with Larry Brown. Here it is, the bad exchange, Mike.
Well, it happens all the time. It's a thankless job until it happens. Looks like the quarterback pulled out early, and it should always be the quarterback's fault. Forget any arguing. The quarterback is the leader. Take the responsibility, the accountability. Teams that go on the road, it's so challenging to win games, but when you turn the football over and hurt your ball club, makes it even more detrimental for your team to have success.
Doug Martin, he's got to be thinking, here we go again. That killed them last week in a game against Buffalo in which they led 14-0 and wound up losing 41-14. Glennon being flushed out of the pocket. Dangerous pass. Batted down on the outside. Usama Young was there. Again, he's looking for Eddie Royal. Let's go to Sports Center U. Mike Gleason.
Well, Doug, the #1 ranked Buckeyes to score against Northwestern. Troy Smith doing it just the way Mike Tomczak used to. Brian Hartline. That's touchdown number 23 for Smith. 7-0 Buckeyes.
All right, Mike, giving you a little plug. Lee, giving you a plug there.
I had a lot of touchdown passes against Northwestern in my career.
Hey, I think Mike was working in Columbus back when you were throwing those touchdown passes. It's 3rd and 8. It's been a tough start for Sean Glennon. Over the middle, has his man, Josh Morgan. Morgan goes backwards, but he gets enough for the 1st down. Down to the 22, Barry Drakeford there for Kent State.
Well, that seems like a voided area in between the hash marks. Glennon does a nice job looking to his left, coming back to the right. We'll credit Josh Morgan for sitting down in that zone hole. A lot of receivers will have a tendency to drift across the ball too much, and quarterbacks get a little anxious throwing the ball in the middle of the field. But in between the hash marks, there's a lot of voided areas when they play zone coverage.
Josh Morgan, a junior from Washington, D.C. Young man majoring in apparel and resource management. I guess he wants to own a clothing store, I guess. Let's check back in with Mike Gleason at Sports Center U.
Well, Doug, Ohio State scored, so Michigan follows suit. Chad Henne, he has 16 touchdown passes, make it 17. It's not Manningham, but Adrian Arrington, 7-0 Michigan. Doug?
All right. Mike keeping us in queue there with the Big Ten, getting ready for the big game next week. I know Mike Tomczak, my partner, was doing all sorts of interviews today. I mean, when you're a quarterback from Ohio State, when this rolls around, Mike, you get interviewed by everybody, don't you?
Absolutely. They want to know what your thought is, but I'm 23 years removed from that day, but I'm still a Buckeye true to heart. But Chad Henne's the guy that's going to make things happen from Michigan, no doubt about it.
Let's check in with the BCS standings now. Ohio State on top, and it appears that Ohio State and Michigan will be 1-2 next week when they meet. Louisville will certainly fall, and Florida has to be excited about it. The BCS brought to you by Allstate. The Gators playing South Carolina tonight, and they are perhaps the biggest benefactor from Louisville's loss the other night.
We saw early scoring that Georgia-Auburn game. At number 16 in the country in the BCS, Auburn's having struggles with Georgia at home today.
First down for the Hokies. Orr with those quick feet, busting it to the outside. brought down by Fritz Jacquez. That's the thing, Mike. The good ones, the good runners. I mean, they make it. He almost got stopped line of scrimmage, but he made something out of nothing.
Well, he's always pressing the hole. Watch these. We talk about downfield runner, downhill runner. He's always pressing the hole, pressing it downfield, running behind his pads. And these arm tackles are not going to bring Brandon Orr down. You got to gang tackle and hit him low, and you got to shock him. And they still have to start winning on first down.
Orr lined up behind his quarterback, Sean Glennon. Two tight ends, double tight.
Looking to the, I'm sorry, Doug. Looking to the sideline for the proper call from the box. Helps the quarterback out immensely.
There's Orr this time over the left side. He gets tripped up. Nice tackle by Jack Williams down around the ankles. Williams from Norfolk, Virginia, playing against some guys that he knows very well. Brandon Orr is a great story, Mike, because here's a young man who had shoulder surgery in the offseason, and admittedly, he says, hey, I had a bad attitude. Went home, was rehabbing that shoulder at home, and started working at a 7-Eleven place where he was stacking shells, and he realized, this is not what I want to do. I want to get back. I want to play football. That's what I'm good at. And talk about an attitude adjustment. Frank Beamer just beams when he talks about Brandon Orr. What a turnaround story. Glennon with pressure on third down. Tackle by Kevin Hogan. You see big number 94 on the bottom of the pile. Hogan, a true freshman, has had a huge year for Kent State.
Well, Coach Beamer coming into this game, he wanted his offense to get on track. The defense is playing stout football. Special teams has always been a staple around here. But offensively, they've been up and down, inconsistent. Their running game is very powerful, but the passing game, and I don't think Sean Glennon is seeing the field extremely well. They have to get back to high percentage passes and make quick reads for him to have success today.
From 35 yards out, Brandon Pace now 12 for 12 in field goals this season. The senior from Virginia Beach is having a terrific year. Maybe he'll be the winner of the Lou Groza Award. Virginia Tech on top, 3-0.
Good luck to you all, and congratulations.
Virginia Tech. Invent the future.
Saturday, ESPNU brings you a full day of college football. At noon, talented rusher P.J. Hill of number 12 Wisconsin.
Look at this, he's still going.
Take on Buffalo. Then at 7:30,
Braun to the air, touchdown.
Number 10 Louisville looks to get back on track against South Florida. The action begins Saturday at noon, exclusively on ESPNU. College football lives here.
I speak on behalf of cigarettes.
My mommy says cigarettes kill.
Is your mom the doctor?
No.
Well, she doesn't exactly sound like a credible expert now, does she?
He spins the truth.
The #1 killer in America is cholesterol, and here comes Senator Finister clogging the nation's arteries with Vermont cheddar cheese.
The great state of Vermont will not apologize for its cheese.
Aaron Eckhart, Maria Bello, Adam Brody, Katie Holmes, Rob Lowe, William H. Macy, and Robert Duvall. Thank you for smoking.
Wish you could wake up in a new place with a new career? You can. Why not take a look into an affiliate of Le Cordon Bleu Schools North America? You can get a fresh start in a fresh city in the in-demand culinary industry. You could have fun working at restaurants, hotels, and resorts in some of the best cities in the world.
Call now for a complimentary brochure. Operators are standing by. Call toll-free 800-980-5084. That's 800-980-5084. Call now.
A glorious day for football in Blacksburg, Virginia. Lane Stadium, home of the Hokies. Doug Bell along with Mike Tomczak and the Hokies, 20th in the country on the board, 3-0, thanks to their outstanding field goal kicker, Brandon Pace, who's now 12 for 12 on the season. That's a heck of a weapon, especially when the offense struggles a bit. Pace kicks the field goal. Jared DeVelli will kick off. And deep for the Golden Flashes from the MAC Conference, Sean Bays and John Drager. This will be Drager fielding it at the 6. Looking for a block. Gets it out to the 27. Solid return. Corey Gordon on the stop for the Hokies. We'll be back.
Why strain yourself with exercises like these when you can get results like this? Why look like this when you can look like this? The most effective waist trimming machine on the planet just got even better, and you'll never have to get on the floor again. Introducing John Abdo's Abdur Extreme program that offers you an ironclad promise that you'll lose at least 3 inches off your waist and at least 10 pounds in 30 days or less.
It makes me feel good.
The totally redesigned Abdur Extreme
Comes fully assembled right out of the box. All you have to do is just slip on the armbar. You gotta love that.
The Abdur Extreme is easy and works fast. It targets all 4 sides of your waist at the same time, working your entire midsection, including your core and love handles, and strengthening your back to give you incredibly fast results.
I lost 11 pounds, 18 pounds, 17 pounds, 7 inches, 14 pounds, 3 inches, 13 pounds.
The Abdur Extreme comes with 3 routines: the fat burner, 6-pack attack, and a special back and spinal conditioning routine. Plus, your 30-day Extreme Challenge guidebook with helpful eating suggestions and exclusive online access to the Abdur website where John coaches you for extreme results. This is a no-risk offer. We're so confident we're willing to let you try it in your home for 30 days free. Even the shipping is free. You've got nothing to lose. This is easily affordable for everyone. And don't forget to ask how you can get the triple-headed back massager, a $55 value absolutely free. This is our best deal ever.
Anytime you do anything to improve your health and appearance, you know you're doing the right thing, the smart thing. So do this for yourself right now. Don't hesitate any longer. Don't sit around and think about it. Otherwise, you may not ever do it. Millions of people around the world can't be wrong. Become a doer today and call now.
The Heidi-Tidies doing it up. Standing and playing virtually the entire game here at Virginia Tech, the Corps Cadet Band. Have to love them here at Lane Stadium in Blacksburg, Virginia. Doug Bell with Mike Tomczak. We fall in love with this campus. The Hokie Stone is on all the buildings on the outside of the stadium. It is absolutely beautiful. The rolling hills here in Virginia.
Veterans Day. Couldn't get any better. There's the American flag.
I agree. That flyover right before kickoff sent chills up my spine. No kidding. Woo! So back in there, quarterback is Darren Rogers now. He's the H-back, and he'll play some quarterback just to change it up a bit. Matching goes to wide receiver when they make the switch. Let's check in now with Mike Gleason at the Sports Center
Doug
News
Cal
Studio.
getting ready for USC next week in Tucson to take on Arizona, and Deshaun Jackson.
What a great read. Reading his blockers, freezes the punter with the left-right move. 4th return on the year, 5th for his career. 4th on the season.
Both conference records, 7-3 Cal. Michigan, Ohio State have both scored. Both lead 14-0, Doug.
All right, Mike, thank you. Cal is looking good as well. Cal may have an argument. They're one of those one-loss teams. Michael matching the handoff to Eugene Jarvis. And the little spark plug goes nowhere. Kerry Wade comes up and makes the tackle. Doug Martin trying to change the tradition at Kent State. You see, they've never beaten a ranked opponent before in their history. Now, the MAC Conference has had some success this season. Akron knocked off NC State, and Western Michigan beat Virginia this year. So, I mean, they've done it.
It's quite possible. We've seen games come down to the wire. Last week I had Ball State at Michigan. They made a tremendous comeback, and that's a much improved team, Ball State. They need a conversion here on 3rd down, Kent State.
3rd and 10. Matching on the draw to Eugene Jarvis. Jarvis gets it out of there, gains a couple. Nolan Burchett on the stop. Jarvis listed at 5'5", 158 pounds. And Mike, we stood next to him on the field. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I know for a fact. I saw him play in high school at Central Catholic in Pittsburgh, and he's a guy that hides behind his lineman, and all of a sudden he spurts out of there like a water bug, and he could be gone in a heartbeat. But you got speed on defense. Virginia Tech did a nice job bottling everything up.
And he gained over 2,000 yards his senior season there in Pittsburgh. There's the punt away by Nate Reed. Royal fields it at the 32 and hops forward. That was a 37-yard kick and a 2-yard return. Jack Williams hustled down to make the stop for Kent State. And you talk about Kent State, what has been the key to this turnaround? Well, obviously Doug Martin, who is his own offensive coordinator, has done a nice job. And Julian Edelman, who's not playing today, has turned into a terrific quarterback. But defensively, Mike, the Golden Flashes under Pete Rextus, their defensive coordinator, they've made great strides this season.
Great strides, especially in the MAC. They're number 3 in the MAC. In rushing defense, they've only allowed 130 yards per game. But in the MAC, they've only allowed 75, so they're productive stopping the run.
Glennon dodges a few pass rushers, looking for Josh Morgan, and overshoots him. Showed off a nice arm there. Jack Williams on the coverage.
I'll tell you what, this quarterback needs to find his rhythm somehow, but defense, to give credit to the defenses. They've been there to stop the run. Both these teams' coordinators defensively want to make this game one-dimensional, and that means stopping number 28. Brandon Orr and Jarvis number 6 on the other side, but it's a swarming defense that plays fast and confident for the Golden Flashes.
It's 2nd down and 10. Glennon to the bell cow. Brandon Orr showing those quick feet again. He goes down after a gain of a couple. There's Pete Rextus, the defensive coordinator. He was a safety man for Jim Tressel at Youngstown State. He's a no-nonsense guy. We talked to him the other day, Mike, on our conference call. He stuck around for about 2.5 minutes, and he got the heck out of Dodge.
Well, I would too if I was him, if you're going to try to find a defense to stop number 28. It's been on a good roll. And they might be outmatched at the line of scrimmage, but I see a nice job by Kent State taking out pursuit by the lead blockers and allowed other people to float to the football and be around number 28 as he tries to make yards down the field.
3rd down and 7. Glennon, oh my, he took a hit, loses the football. Kent State says they have it. We're waiting for the signal.
He took a shot right underneath that right chin, boy. They never saw him come off the edge. Was that Williams?
It's Hokies football, but Rico Murray, was it Murray or Williams? Jack Williams came charging in there, untouched, and watch the hit. Oh.
Well, your right tackle does nothing. Dwayne Brown, they're all athletic right tackle, does nothing. They don't scan to the right side, and that's twice now that corner blitz has come off the edge. Someone's going to get hurt if they don't fix that.
Jack Williams, junior from Norfolk, Virginia. He said, hello, Sean. I'm from this state, and yeah, this is my house, at least for the moment.
2nd down 9 from their own 35. That's over 9 is
Wild Wings. You have to be here.
From the fields of glory where Saturday afternoon legends are born, to the pageantry and passion, it's time for college football. Now you can bring that passion and pride home with Fathead. So put away that foam finger and slap up a Fathead. With schools from all the big-time college football powerhouses, Fathead wall graphics are classic collectibles made for only real fans. It's easy to put up. Just peel and place in any home or office. Fathead can take a hit. Printed on strong, durable vinyl, Fathead is the only wall graphic that actually lets you move it over and over again all season long.
Looks like this little fella's ready.
So big and real, you can't find them in a store. There's only one place to get them, fathead.com. Officially licensed by the Collegiate Licensing Company, NASCAR, the NBA, the NFL, and Players Inc. Fathead.com is where you can also find all your favorite players and teams. Call or go online at fathead.com today. Check out our special season pricing and be the ultimate fan of your team. Fathead. Go big. Real big.
Own a timeshare, turn it into cash.
Timeshares only got us our full asking price before our next monthly payment was due.
Own a campground membership, turn it into cash.
Timeshares only sold our campground membership fast and for the price we wanted.
Call now and we'll send you absolutely free this information kit, including 10 secrets to buying, selling, and renting timeshares. Timeshares Only is the nation's largest, #1 most successful timeshare agency.
We represent properties from the biggest names in the timeshare industry.
When it comes to selling, renting, or buying timeshares, no one comes close to Timeshares Only.
With over $2 billion of timeshares sold in the last 6 months, now's the perfect time to sell, rent, or buy. And no one sells more timeshares than we do.
You owe it to yourself to work with the best. Timeshares Only, the most trusted name in timeshares.
Call 800-789-2441 to sell, rent, or buy your timeshare and get your pre-information kit. Don't delay. Call 800-789-2441.
Former Virginia Tech great Antonio Freeman. He of Green Bay Packers fame, back on campus, inducted into the Virginia Tech Hall of Fame last night. That's Jim Weaver, the athletic director, giving him his Hokies football. They just played his highlights on the scoreboard, not only here at Virginia Tech, but with the Green Bay Packers. That was a nice scene.
It certainly was. And that game ball is probably going to go in his trophy case. He had a tremendous career. We'll talk to him later as the afternoon develops. But look at the first half. No rushing semblance whatsoever between either team. It's been a defensive battle thus far. 3-0 Virginia Tech.
John Drager fields the punt. Gets up to the 44. That was a 45-yard boot. Now, while we were away, the play was under review to see who recovered the football, and Glennon actually did get back on that loose football, and that brought up the punt, and Drager has been busy.
Well, that fumble came right after he got jacked up and just finished up right in his lap.
Boy, did he get hit.
I told you, Doug, if they can't pick up the blitz, they're going to see it all first half, and until they make the adjustments on the sideline, number 7 might get licked a few more times until they rectify things for Virginia Tech offensively.
Michael Matchin, he was drafted 14th round by the Atlanta Braves back in 2000, and he can hum a baseball, there's no doubt. Not bad on the football field. Has some time, going deep. Overshoots his man who was open, Sean Bays, second-year player out of Memphis, had a step and a half on DJ Parker. They came close to connecting on a big play.
Well, you told me about this guy, all afternoon yesterday, Doug, and we said he has a big league arm, and at the top of this broadcast we talked about they have to go up top, over the top. Even though they're the #1 pass defense in the country, you still got to take your shots down the field to make a difference in this game. That was a missed opportunity by the Golden Flashes.
2nd and 10. Matchin 3 steps to the outside and through the hands of Najah Pruden. Pruden has a sprained foot, wasn't supposed to play today, but is feeling better. Gets the opportunity. The Macho Man Victor Harris on the coverage on the outside.
We look at the miscues here by Kent State. Very fundamental play, center quarterback exchange. Virginia Tech capitalizes. There's Mr. Vince Hall, number 9. And then the quarterback is not getting any protection. You can send guys on a stretcher if you don't rectify things that way. This is a physical collision sport.
3rd and 10, Matchin will run it. Stretch and loses the football. Victor Harris comes up with it. And now Kent State says they got it back.
What a wild play.
I think Harris had it and then lost it. So Kent State does recover it, and they'll get a first down.
I'm sure Michael Matchin is not used to carrying the football. Not only do you got to put your fingertips over right in your elbow against your chest, but you got to tug that thing close to your body. Does a nice job making a decision, getting out of the pocket, getting vertical up the field. But anytime the defender sees a quarterback in open field, they're going to swat at it, take a shot at him. This is not like the NFL where you could slide and they won't touch you. Nice job by Vince Hall. And this guy's Mr. Dependable. He's a playmaker, that Vince Hall. He's always around the football, and there's missed opportunity for Virginia Tech. First down for the Golden Flashes.
They had 5 turnovers last week against Buffalo, which led to 3 Buffalo touchdowns. And surprisingly, they lost 41-14. There's movement on the offensive line. Flags everywhere.
5-yard penalty.
Travis McGraw, the left guard. Junior from Silver Springs, Maryland.
Well, Doug, they had good field position coming off that punt. They started their own 45-yard line. They did get the first down, but these pre-snap penalties, coaches, when you're building a program like Coach Martin at Kent State, you can't have penalties before the ball is snapped. You know the snap count. You know it's going to be loud. You know it's going to be a hostile environment. It's a mental toughness that you have inside you to hold the water there.
First and 15. Imagine, another fumble. John Drager. Bad exchange between the quarterback and Drager. Drager falls on it.
Drager fumbled the ball, recovered his own fumble back at the 49-yard line.
So Kent State is going backwards after they got the break from the fumble by Virginia Tech, and they got it back. They're going backwards. Oh, that was just a bad exchange.
It was a bad exchange when you got a 6'6" quarterback and a 5'9" running back. The quarterback needs to bend his knees more. Don't take things for granted. Make sure you seat the ball in there with your eyes and your hand. Do your responsibility first. Let the other guy take over after that.
Second down and 16. Matching to the outside, looking for Phil Garner. He gets a couple of yards back. Victor Harris is there with a slew of his teammates. Let's check in with Mike Gleason in the studio. Mike.
Doug, the Buckeyes are on the board again, and is this time the defense?
You know, Brandon Mitchell, free safety, has the curl flat responsibility. Never takes his eyes off quarterback C.J. Bechet. Steps in for the interception, takes it to the house for 6.
21-0, Ohio State.
It's getting ugly. Steve Israel, an old defensive back, he loves to show those plays, you know.
Well, I know Ohio State's plane got in 11:30 at night last night, 2:30 Central start. They woke up pretty early and pretty feisty.
Third down and 12. Matchin has his man, Mark Woodson. Woodson brought down by Xavier Adebe.
This might be 4-down territory for the Golden Flashes. You don't have a very good kicking game. Field goal kicker. They're going to go ahead and go for this on 4th down. I like this call by the coach.
Adebe, boy, is he a good-looking player or what? A redshirt junior. So many redshirt players in this Virginia Tech team. 2002, he was ranked #1 high school football player in this state. 4th down and 2. Match it from the gun. No, it's the quick kick. Doug Martin told us that's what they would do. Oh, it backfires. Did they save it?
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did. They downed it at the 3-yard line.
The ball did not. Oh, he's going to wave it as a touchback. We'll see. They're going to have a conference. As long as the ball does not touch the goal line or cross the plane of the goal line.
The result of the play is a touchback. First down.
It is a touchback. So the Hokies get a break. They'll start from the 20-yard line. It has been a sloppy game. It's the quick kick. Match it from the shotgun, booting it. They just didn't get down there in time.
Today is the best day of your life.
If you're interested in starting a legitimate home-based business, the Work at Home Institute may be the answer.
Honey, we really do need this addition to the house.
Yes, but at these prices, we're going to have to save for years.
You could turn your life around by logging on right now. The service is free. We provide you legitimate work-at-home opportunities plus extensive information about the work-at-home industry, its laws, regulations, and expansive benefits that could change your life.
You know, Dave's got a great job, but there never seems to be enough money. And with 3 kids, I don't think we can afford college. Oh, have you ever thought of working from home?
You should see this website Dan found.
Don't wait. Log on now. Earn extra money. Be your own boss. Set your own schedule and spend more time with the ones you love. Whether it's money for college education, credit card debt, or just the freedom to live your life the way you've always dreamed of, make today the best day of your life.
Log on to 16thewahi.com.
If it's played on a campus, it's on ESPNU.
Over the shoulder goal! Wow!
The best college sports action all year long.
Wisconsin wins! Oregon State wins a national championship!
Here's what's playing tonight. Hit the hardwood for basketball action. First at 7, Sacred Heart takes on North Carolina. At 11, Stanford meets San Jose State. ESPNU, always in season.
Why can the sharpest knives cut through anything? The secret is in the steel. And now, the Gin 5 steel technology that creates the sharpest knives has been forged into a razor. Introducing the Infinity Razor, with blades so sharp and so strong, it's guaranteed for life. The blades use advanced Gin 5 steel technology. This is the last razor you ever have to buy. Shave kissably smooth, shave after shave. Expensive replacement blades cost hundreds of dollars a year, but you only buy the Infinity Razor once. Call now and your Infinity razor is only $14.95 with a lifetime replacement guarantee. Plus, if you don't love it, we'll refund the purchase price and send you 3 blades for your favorite leading brand razor. You'll also get 6 Infinity Aromatherapy shave gels, a $15 value free. Shave closer for life, guaranteed.
Call 1-800-466-6148.
Frank Beamer looking on, not happy. Virginia Tech leads Kent State only 3-0. They've won 24 in a row against non-conference opponents here at home. And this has been a struggle today. Now, Kent State much improved defensively. But Virginia Tech hoping to build on 3 weeks of solid play.
Well, you build a program defensively first. That's what Coach Martin has done. And then you get the skilled players after that. I'm pretty impressed with what they're doing defensively. And again, they're winning on first down, Doug.
Josh Morgan on the outside, and he and Sean Glennon obviously got their signals crossed. Again, we mentioned Glennon is a tall kid at 6'4". That's the same height as Jim Druckenmiller. And you look at Michael Vick and Marcus Vick and Brian Randall, they were all listed at 6'1". And as Frank Beamer told us yesterday, they might not have been 6'1".
Well, number 7 there.
Yeah.
Sean Glennon wearing the Michael Vick jersey. One thing that Michael Vick had is athleticism to go along with that strong arm.
Glennon to the outside. That time Josh Morgan hooks up with Glennon and gets a first down.
That's a big time throw right there. I mean, he's been struggling at the quarterback position. He's not seeing the field real well. But anytime you give him clear vision to the outside of the field, that's where Glennon is going to make his payday. And he's got some receivers on the perimeter. Royal and Clowney and Morgan do a nice job in that comeback route, setting up getting a first down and moving the chains.
Brandon Orr has been quiet this afternoon, at least so far, lining up behind his quarterback. 3 steps. Glennon looks left. And he gets sacked again. Colin Farrell, his first sack of the season. Hey, tonight a full day of college football on ESPNU. 2 more games coming up. First at 7 Eastern, it's Duke taking on Boston College. And then at 10 Eastern, it's Prairie View taking on Jackson State. College football prime time presented by Citi on ESPNU Saturday night. And for more information, log on to ESPNU.com. And that's Orr. Again, Kent State with a nice tackle on Roar. Let's check in back at ESPNU with Mike Gleason.
Hey, Doug, check this out. CIAA title. NC Central. Brandon Gilbert won it last year with a kick. This is from 52 yards, and he's got it. Back-to-back years, back-to-back titles. Check it out. He goes down. Oh!
Good stuff. Boy, don't you love that? A lot of passion no matter what level you're playing on. Wow, the kicker getting excited, Mike. He looked like a soccer player.
I've driven by North Carolina Central. They have a very outstanding program.
Lennon has struggled early on, decides to run with it, and he takes another shot. Boy, he is going to be sore tomorrow, Mike.
He's going to be sore tomorrow, but you can't get in that fetal position before you get tackled. You got to continue the aggressive pace down the field, and he's not used to being out of the pocket. They're doing a nice job blanketing the coverage in the secondary. I like what Kent State's doing against these big play receivers, and there's frustration at the quarterback position. You can't have that when you're the leader in the team.
Nick Schmidt back to punt. He has been busy for the Hokies. Left-footed punter. And deep for Kent State is John Drager. Kent State putting a little pressure on the punter, taking a page from Virginia Tech. What a nice kick. That thing is down inside the 5. It'll be down at the 4-yard line. A 58-yard boot by Nick Schmidt. They put a lot of pressure on him, but nobody was down there, and David Clowney downed it. Special teams looking good for the Hokies.
A day in my life is far from typical. I may be at a photo shoot, on tour, on a movie set, or just hanging out with my friends. I never know what's gonna happen next. But the one thing I do know, I start my day and end my day with Proactive Solution.
Proactive Solution, named Best Acne Treatment by Allure Magazine. Developed by 2 dermatologists, Proactive is a 3-step acne-fighting system that clears acne and helps prevent future breakouts.
I used to suffer from a skin problem, and believe me, everybody noticed, and I was embarrassed. And then a friend introduced me to Proactive Solution. I have to tell you, my skin completely cleared up, and I never, ever worry about breakouts anymore.
Now's your chance to try Proactive for just $19.95. Proactive is not only powerful enough to fight acne, but it's also gentle, so it leaves your skin looking fresh, glowing, and beautiful.
I use Proactive every day, every morning, every evening. I wouldn't even think of not using it.
Order now and you'll also receive free the amazing refining mask, which works overnight to help shrink blemishes and reduce redness.
Why make things harder than they need to be? Problem, acne. Solution, Proactive. It's that simple.
Proactive comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee, backed by trusted Guthy Renker. Order now and get priority mail shipping at no extra charge.
So whether I'm facing 1 million fans or shooting a music video, one thing is always clear. My skin.
Call 1-800-664-8600.
Are you ready to have clear, gorgeous skin and feel more confident about your looks? Try Proactive. Just try it and say goodbye to blemishes.
The Golden Flashes at Kent State will start from the 4-yard line. You think of Virginia Tech blocking kicks and the whole 9 yards, but that time they got a 58-yard boot. And it was down at the 4-yard line. Michael Matchin.
It'll be tough. It'll be tough coming out of the student body section there. It's going to be loud.
There's Julian Edelman. He's the young man not playing today. Vince Hall and company. They're licking their chops. They're salivating right now. Kent State on the 4. Eugene Jarvis goes over the right side. Aaron Rouse is right there. Rouse has had a nice first half so far. Very active. And yesterday in talking to Bud Foster, you know, Rouse is a senior, flirted with the NFL a year ago, decided to come back, and has had a so-so season. But Mike, as you know, numbers mean nothing to the NFL. I mean, you know.
They don't, but what they like about this Rouse is 6'4", 227, runs a 4.5 40. And he's explosive. They like that size. I mean, they like big defensive backs that could tackle guys in the open field.
2nd down and 8, same play. Same result. Eugene Jarvis falls forward for a gain of 2. Xavier, a DB right there. You know, talking to Bud Foster yesterday, and they've had some outstanding defensive units under the direction of Foster. But he mentioned to us, Mike, that Vince Hall and Xavier DB were the 2 best inside backer tandem that he has ever coached at Virginia Tech. To me, that was a mouthful. That's amazing.
And it's a great compliment to these young players. Both these guys are juniors, a DB in Hall, and they do pack a punch, and there's very little body fat in each of those bodies. They're very good specimens.
Hey, another quick kick. That's the 2nd time he's done that. And the ball will bound out to the 47.
But to show respect for Virginia Tech's defense, you don't want to do anything stupid down there in your own short end zone. And that's the asset that they have with Matchin. You know, he's punted. He's the backup punter for this team and becomes an asset as the game develops. It's about field position, and they've changed the field.
That was a 40-yard punt, obviously no return. Storyline so far today, Virginia Tech and their running game has gone nowhere against Kent State. Lennon has been beaten up, flushed out, taken some pops by an aggressive unit from Kent State. Mike, what can you say about this young man? He struggled.
He's struggling. He needs some quick, high percentage passes, get it back in, or he needs number 28 to get things going for him. But give credit to Kent State defensively. They're doing things up front.
He got swarmed under by Daniel Muir. Virginia Tech 4 punts out of 5 possessions. Now the field goal happened after the miscue by Matchin on the bad exchange from his center. He pulled out too quick. It has not been anything to write home about for the Hokies offensively, but they've struggled this year on the offensive side. No doubt, as we mentioned off the top, defense has really put them back on the map, especially the last 3 weeks. Offensively, it's a slow process.
Well, it's a slow process, especially when you're maturing offensive linemen. They knew coming into the season that they're going to be young at the offensive line, and they just needed time to get things rolling.
That's Greg Boone, Mike. He's the converted quarterback who lines up at tight end. Going to get up on his own. That's a good sign. Oops, may need a little help.
Well, he's a former quarterback at 281 pounds now. I don't think he'll ever see that quarterback position again, but we wish him well in his recovery.
He's a redshirt freshman who came in at about 235, 240 pounds.
Good hopscotcher, too.
Looks pretty good.
But yeah, he's put on 50 pounds since he's made that transition from quarterback to tight end.
So Sean Glennon right back at it on second down. To the outside, has his man, David Clowney. Gets up close to the first down. Fritz Jacquez knocks him out of bounds. Clowney, one of the few seniors on this offensive unit. In fact, he's the lone senior in the receiving corps. In the spring, he works out with the track team. Thinks that helps him as far as quick starts and bursts of speed.
I think he'd be in pretty good shape, too, if he works up the track team. But Sean Glennon right now needs to get a first down here. He's been rattled thus far.
Or right over his talented center, Danny McGrath. McGrath, there you see Dwayne Brown kind of getting into it on the outside with Jack Williams.
Well, those guys need to do that in between the whistles. I don't think these guys are coming off the ball like they want to. And Brian Steinspring talked about our run game has to be an asset for us. Right now, they're not establishing the line of scrimmage whatsoever. There's big Dwayne.